Day Hawaii, presented by Pizza Hut.
One of the most dominant dynasties this state has ever seen. Dives and scores! What a grab! Wow! The road has nearly reached its finale. Will this be the final high school game in legendary, historic, and iconic Aloha Stadium? It's a 78-degree night. The temperature will rise. It's the ILH second round final on Spectrum OC 16. St. Louis and Kamehameha yet again, and we count down to kickoff with Game Day Hawaii presented by Pizza Hut. Hi everyone, great to have you with us with Jordan Helly, Jimmy Bender's down there coming up in a second. I'm Felipe Ohastro. A win tonight for Kamehameha can secure a state tournament berth for the first time since 2009, and now Kamehameha yet again has to prove that they belong and beat St. Louis for a third time.
Yeah, the only thing standing in the way, right, is that third win. And what a gargantuan task for them not to have already completed the 2 wins, got the bye last week, which I think is big for this team with how physical a gauntlet they've gone through. But history, perhaps, for the Warriors tonight.
And for more on this matchup, Jimmy Bender takes us first on the field. Hey, Jimmy?
Yeah, and you mentioned a couple of previous meetings. First time, St. Louis loses by 2. Second time, St. Louis loses by 3. Will the third time be the charm? Ron Lee says he doesn't really believe in sayings like that, but if it does come true, he'll take it.
Been more than a decade and a half, Jimmy, since a ILH team defeated St. Louis 3 times in the same season. Let's get you caught up with the season format. The ILH Division I Open's broken up into 2 rounds, a regular season winner and a tournament winner. Kamehameha, by virtue of going 3-1, has won the regular season. That's all done. Now, if they win round 2, they will become the ILH Division I Open champion. St. Louis last week in the semifinals against Punahou, convincing victory, 35-0. St. Louis wins tonight. They're the tournament champion. And then we have an ILH championship playoff next week on Spectrum OC 16 at 7 o'clock if we need that. And so here comes the Crusaders squad. 5 total points. They lost to Kamehameha. How big is the pressure here on the Crusaders?
I think it's pretty big, right? They seem to be a team that has relished the moment, even though their backs are up against the one. We saw that last week, I think, against Punahou. There was a little more freedom, a little more confidence in how they played, and even though it's win or go home time for them, I think they're about as confident as they have been all season long.
I'll tell you what they did last week against Punahou was stellar. They're not just the Crusaders, they're the Crusaders. 35-0. They dominated in this game with A.J. Bianco, 358 total yards of offense and throwing 4 touchdowns as well. You were with Rich Miano on XCast last week. How impressed were you with the Crusaders when you saw them?
Really impressed, right? Because the first 2 meetings against Punahou, sure, maybe a double-digit victory in that first matchup, but second time around, 6-point game. Coming off the loss to Kamehameha a week before, this St. Louis team hadn't played 3 weeks in a row in a long, long time. And what did they do? They came out and looked as good as they have all season long. And so, again, kind of getting back to that mindset development, right, for this team. I think they just needed game reps, and the talent is kind of shining through. And what they did to Punahou last week, 28-0 at halftime, really, really impressed on both sides of the football, and they're really clicking, particularly on offense.
And the 2 best defensive games that St. Louis has had this season came against the Buff and Blue, mid-September, then last week in the ILH second round semifinal. This defense held Punahou to a season-low offensively, 145 yards of offense. So they are rolling here, Jordan, with a lot of swagger. So how does this defense step up tonight against a team that they haven't been able to contain the last 2 meetings?
Yeah, getting healthy is part of it, right? Iona Purcell penciled into the starting lineup tonight after missing last week. It's a much different test. That's the interesting thing about it. Punahou wants to throw the ball. We know that. This Kamehameha team, they are run first, and they are really good at running the football. And so it is a much different test. And I'm really curious to see if St. Louis can parlay that against a much different stylistic matchup here in this game.
A nearly 2-1 advantage when Kamehameha has the lead in the first 2 meetings of the season so far. So that's the defensive side of it. The offensive side, boy, are they glad to have A.J. Bianco slinging the rock. Went 17 of 17. It's the best completion percentage by any quarterback in the state this season with a minimum of 15 throws. On his way to the University of Hawaii after making his commitment 16 days ago. This guy has peaked and valleyed. He has shown that he can play at the Division I level, but then he goes on streaks where he overthrows or he misses. So how much pressure is there on Bianco tonight to succeed?
Well, there's a lot, right? I mean, it's a quarterback-driven offense to begin with, but it's usually a nice balance with this team and what they are able to do running the football. And they've got a capable stable of running backs, don't get me wrong, but he has been their biggest running threat, and he has obviously been ultra efficient in the passing game the last couple of weeks and avoiding some of those peaks and valleys that you point out, Felipe. If he can play consistent, that is the key to this offense.
How would you stop him?
For me, I think, look, it's tough when he's doing what he's doing the last 3 weeks, right? Both on the ground and through the air. I think you got to make sure that he does not hurt you with his legs. If he is doing 2 touchdowns a game the last 3 weeks, 6 total on the ground, if he's doing that, you don't have a great shot. But if you can at least keep him in the pocket, this Kamehameha secondary is really athletic, and they've got the skill guys to match up with the St. Louis receivers. So I think as crazy as it sounds, right, force the St. Louis team to throw, I think at first most, you got to take care of the running game and not allow Bianco to get outside the pocket.
Been nearly 40 years since St. Louis has had a losing season. Currently, they sit at 3-3. Will the 4th loss happen tonight, or will we get one more game for the Crusaders to try and get to the state tournament? That's the Crusader side of things. We'll talk about the Warriors when we come back on Game Day Hawaii, presented by Pizza Hut.
Dreaming of the day you can travel safely to your favorite places? Bank of Hawaii has a giveaway that could help you plan your next getaway.
You can't touch this.
Announcing Bank of Hawaii's 5 million Hawaiian Miles giveaway. Every time you pay using your Bank of Hawaii's contactless debit card during our 5 million Hawaiian Miles giveaway, you're entered for a chance to win enough miles for a round trip to LA, Orlando, and more. So for the chance to bank miles for when we're all ready to travel again, use the debit card from the only Bank of Hawaiian Miles, Bank of Hawaii.
You can't touch this.
Keeping Hawaii student athletes in top shape starts with protecting their teeth. That's why Hawaii Dental Service encourages student athletes to use mouthguards to prevent or reduce the impact of an injury. Mouthguards are not just for football players, but can help protect all sports athletes. Custom-fit mouthguards can lessen the impact of a sports injury to the head, protecting the mouth, jaw, and face. Parents, encourage your student athletes to ask their coach or school's athletic director about using a mouthguard so they can live well and smile more with HDS.
Yes, sir. We are Hawaii, Hawaii's story. Let's go. For the ohana, the best values you can get. Safety is number one. Right. Choke space, second to none. Yes, sir. We are Hawaii, Hawaii's story.
Welcome back to Game Day Hawaii, presented by Pizza Hut.
Aloha Stadium, the site of so many historic games. Another chapter to be written in the legendary stadium in Halapa. Let's give you the ILH safety protocols. We showed you this all season long. The league has done a great job of making sure all these players are safe. They're fully vaccinated, or they've provided a negative test 24 hours prior to the game. But as we bring in Jimmy Bender, it's unfortunate, Jimbo, that we don't have fans watching what could be the final game here in Aloha Stadium.
That's right, and you and I and everybody else on the crew always gets asked this question: why aren't you having fans, especially at Aloha Stadium? You got to go back to earlier this year. Remember when this was deemed unsafe for fans in the stands? Critical repairs that were recommended in 2018 still hadn't been made as of last year. So they said we can't have fans in the stands, but we can still play here. So unfortunately, it's just us here. If we could have you here, fans, you know we would.
Amen, Jimmy, and they're going to be treated to a fun one. Let's give you the head-to-head, the 2-0 series lead this season for the Warriors. Points per game nearly identical, plus 2.5 for the Warriors. But the total time with the lead, nearly 2-1 pretty much, 34-17. The 3 big sacks, including one of them that ended the game in round number 1, sealed the deal for the Warriors, which snapped a 36-game winning streak against Hawaii opponents for the Crusaders. I don't know what's harder, beating this Kamehameha team back-to-back weeks potentially for the Crusaders, or beating this St. Louis team 3 times in a single season. How has Kamehameha been able to pull this off?
Yeah, it has been such a fun chess match in these 2 games between Kamehameha and St. Louis. Kind of an old school recipe, right? Run the football, control the time of possession, and defensively, they have done a marvelous job of forcing turnovers sort of when they're back up against it, right? 35 yards and in when St. Louis has been able to march down, and timely turnovers as well. And so to running the football, taking care of it, and then forcing some timely turnovers have been the recipe for Kamehameha.
All right, let's break down Seal Bartley's skills, the star running back for Kamehameha. He does 2 things well here, Jordan. First off, he's got a very high motor.
Without a doubt, right? He can absolutely carry the load. You can hand it to him 25 times a game, and he does not tire. And he is a guy that punishes you. He is the one delivering the blow-off, and he's the total package at running back.
It's a battle of attrition when you play a guy like Seal Bartley, among the best in the state. And then when he powers through and finds some daylight, he's got that wow factor.
He really does, and he's a guy who not only can pound you between the tackles, but he's a home run hitter. He can take it the distance basically on any touch. And the underrated part of his game as well, we've seen it more maybe early in the season than the last couple of games. He's a really good receiver out of the backfield as well. We'll see if that factors in tonight.
Can he literally carry this team to an ILH title?
Yeah, I think so. And this offense has done a nice job coming along off of what he brings, right? Kelly Ayat, the quarterback, has really done a great job sort of in that play-action passing game with Bartley as the centerpiece, but they also have been able to hurt teams through the air because of all the attention he brings down into the box.
For Kamehameha defensively, they're without Baba Waile, who suffered a knee injury, has a surgery today. Baba, if you're watching, best wishes to you. But this defense is starting to get better and better as the season has gone on, just 4 games in, and they've been making a whole lot of pressure against any quarterback in the ILH this season.
Yeah, and I think that is a factor of 2 things, right? They got a lot of really good athletes in the front 7, but they're good at all 3 levels, including that defensive secondary, Evan Rao and company. And so when you can cover like that, when you can put your defensive backs on islands in situations where they're covering one-on-one, that frees up a little bit more in the pass rush game, and it's been a nice balance between both ends for Matt Wright's defense.
And Abu Ma'afala, the head coach, with a couple signature wins this season after dropping the first game of the year to the Buff and Blue in a tightly contested matchup. Now in his 6th full season with the program, 8 games under 500, but the quality of wins that he's had this year has been phenomenal. So, Jordan, more pressure tonight on the team that's trying to knock off St. Louis, or more pressure on the team that's won the last 4 state titles?
Boy, it really is kind of a flip of the coin, right? Because if you're Kamehameha, you don't want to let this get to a must-win game next week, right? You don't want to use that if necessary. But I still think it's Kamehameha. I still think it's St. Louis, not to overthink it, right? They're the ones, if they lose tonight, their season is over. And so I think at the end of the day, it's still the Crusaders have a bit more pressure on them.
What's going to happen tonight? We're going to get one more game next Friday to kick off November, or will we crown an ILH champion tonight here at Aloha Stadium?
This year, we are more thankful than ever. Instead of spending your time cooking, order a pre-made Thanksgiving feast from Zippies.com, or give one to those who deserve it most, so you can spend more time together. Order Zippy's Thanksgiving packages online and save up to $20. Order now, we usually sell out.
As a kid, I watched my parents fight long and hard to go to work just to take care of us, feed us, and keep a roof over our head. And that inspired me from there that, I wanted to do the same thing if I ever had a kid. My experience with Hawaii VA loans was pretty awesome, so I appreciate them and I appreciate our lender.
Hawaii, we all need to come together to stop the spread of COVID-19. If you feel sick, stay at home. Do not go to work, school, or social events. No exceptions. One infected person can spread COVID-19 to many other people. Don't be that one. Stay home and rest when you're sick. Your friends, coworkers, and classmates will thank you. Do your part. Don't unknowingly spread COVID-19.
Welcome back to Game Day Hawaii, presented by Pizza Hut.
Inching closer to kickoff between Kamehameha and St. Louis in the ILH second round final. Let's take a trip around the end zone. Some other games going on around Oahu tonight. Waianae and Campbell. Waianae able to pick up a win against Lelehua last week. Campbell coming off a win against Farrington to start off the season. Kapolei 0-2, trying to get one in the win column against the Govs tonight. A tough one against Moana last week. They take on a Roosevelt team reeling after losing to Castle. Kalaheo and Kaiser round off around the end zone the notable games tonight. Jordan, you played in big games. A lot of these young men and women going to be down the field playing the big games. What's the emotional state right now as you get ready for kickoff?
It's a lot of nervous butterflies, right? A championship type game. a little odd atmosphere, right? Nobody in the stands, but it is going to be a situation where if you can just kind of get yourself through that first big hit, that first big play, and then everything kind of settles in.
One of the longest rivalries in the history of Hawaii Prep football, ready to write one more chapter. This time, so much on the line. Can Kamehameha finally silence all the cynics and critics, or will the Crusaders extend the season? Kickoff coming up next from Aloha Stadium.
How deep do Pizza Hut's roots run in Hawaii? Through all the decades, we know what our island ohana love. Great taste at an even better price. Like our large 3-topping carry-out pizza for just $11.99. You choose your favorite toppings, meat, vegetables, or any combination that totals 3. Our $11.99 large 3-topping pizza. Order online and carry one out today. Only at Hawaii Pizza Hut.
Answer the call to adventure.
In a certified pre-owned Honda that goes through an industry-leading 182-point inspection. Comes with a 7-year powertrain warranty, 24/7 roadside assistance, complimentary oil changes, low 0.99% financing, and the peace of mind that you're driving a certified Honda.
See a Hawaii Honda dealer today and tell them Henry sent you.
You're watching Spectrum XCast, all high school sports, all the time. Tonight, one team with one win can extend the season one more week with the hopes of fortifying a 5-peat, while the other is thirsting to end a championship drought. Will Kamehameha get to the state tournament? Destiny versus Dynasty in the ILH second round final. Happy Halloween from Halava and Aloha Stadium. No tricks, all treats tonight. This is the ILH second round final. From historic and iconic Aloha Stadium, it is the 2-seed St. Louis taking on the top seed Kamehameha. The Warriors had a 3-1 record and thus won round number 1. If they win tonight, they will become the ILH Division I Open champion. St. Louis coming off a semifinal win last week, 35-0. With the win can extend this series one more week for the ILH Championship playoff next week on Spectrum OC 16. Cannot wait for this one. Hi, everyone. Great to have you with us. Felipe Ohastro, Jordan Helly, Jimmy Bender. One win. That's all the Warriors need to capture their first ILH championship since 2009 and their 25th overall. Jordan, they are brimming with confidence, but they're taking on a very hungry St. Louis team tonight.
Yeah, as they should be, right? Riding that 3-game winning streak to close out the ILH first round. 2 of those wins coming against these Crusaders, but they are very well aware of the task at hand, having to beat St. Louis one more time. It's going to be a monumental task, no doubt about it.
And for more on this matchup, down to the field we go. Jimmy Bender in the New City Nissan Field Report. Jimmy.
Hey guys, talked to both of the coaches. Their thoughts on what's going to happen tonight, what they need to do. On the St. Louis side, Coach Ron Lee saying, you know, the one thing that he's noticed over the past few weeks is this team just keeps getting better and better every week, obviously highlighted by last week's 35-0 win. So he said, if we can just clean up some mistakes from the past games, we'll be good. Of course, he'll have his eagle's eye view up in the press box to make adjustments as needed. Now, on the Kamehameha side, Coach Abu saying we just got to do what we've been doing until St. Louis can figure that out. And he said then if they have to make adjustments, hey, that's what we get paid as coaches to do. Other than that, business as usual for the Warriors.
All right, Jimmy, thank you very much. Ready to go for the 123rd meeting in the last 62 years between the Warriors and the Crusaders. And the kickoff is coming up next on Spectrum OC 16.
This Spectrum OC 16 sports presentation is sponsored by New City Nissan.
My dad and I used to call this place the Devil's Drop.
Seriously?
Just hold on to something.
This is awesome!
Intelligent 4x4 with 7-mode terrain selector. The legend returns, the all-new ruggedly redesigned 2022 Nissan Pathfinder. Get a low $320 per month lease on the 2022 Pathfinder or get 0% financing for up to 72 months on 13 models.
Yes, sir. We are Hawaii, Hawaii self-story. Let's go. For the Ohana, the best values you can get. Safety is number one. Right. Joke space, second to none. Yes, sir. We are Hawaii, Hawaii self-story.
Saturday, the Rainbow Warriors are determined for a conference win when they travel to Logan, Utah. It's a showdown between your Hawaii Rainbow Warriors and the Utah State Aggies. Order it today on Spectrum Sports Pay-Per-View.
The reason why I play soccer is for the competitive aspect of the game.
The reason I run is to push my mental boundaries.
The reason why I play volleyball is to be part of a team.
But we can't continue to play without referees,
umpires,
or officials.
So let the players play.
The coaches coach.
And the officials officiate.
And cheer with aloha.
Well, AJ Bianco will try and continue this momentum in this all-time series history that goes back to 1959, where St. Louis leads 75-43 to 4. Let's get to our officials. It is a 7-man mechanic and crew this evening as we are in the ILH tournament final. Robert Victor wears the white hat, joined by Craig Shaner, Rada Lama Jr., Steve Piercy, Kaimi Victor, Chris Fagan, and John Oku. The weather, very nice, 78 degrees, not a lot of wind, no sign of showers. Just 6 miles an hour coming out of the northeast. And so, what happens tonight? Crusaders and Warriors trying to extend the season or win an ILH championship. Mike's Engraving and Trophies is the official trophy provider for Spectrum OC 16 Sports. For all your special achievements, call Ryan at Mike's Engraving and Trophies. They're located behind Cutter Ford in Aiea. Bianco, impressive performance. 17 of 17, 263 yards and 2 touchdowns. Easily, Jordan, the best game that we've ever seen him perform on any football field.
Yeah, without a doubt, right? And this is a guy who I think, like a lot of youngsters, a little pressure off their shoulders, a little relief after he makes his verbal commitment right to the University of Hawaii. That's something as a senior, you know, a Division I prospect where you're sort of weighing that. You're getting calls, right? And if you make your decision, all of a sudden you can kind of get back to focusing on your play on the field and not have to worry so much about the off the field stuff. And I think maybe we might be seeing that and he's just getting more reps out there. And I think for a guy that hadn't played, you know, a meaningful football game in a few years, knocking off some of that rust.
Warriors won the toss, elected to defer, so the Crusader offense onto the field first. Trich Kikahuna back deep to return the Winston Freitas kick. And off we go in the ILH second round final with a touchback. And the Crusaders have it at the 20-yard line. Onto the field, University of Hawaii commit AJ Bianco. He kicks off the Zippies starting lineups, made his commitment to play at UH 16 days ago. Jonah Saba'inaya, one of the leaders on this offensive line. He's on his way to Arizona. La'akea Kapoy on his way to San Diego State. Ethan Spencer to the University of Hawaii. Mason Mua'au is one of the best in terms of yards per catch this prep football season. And over the last few games has really turned it on. One of the tall targets for that man Bianco to unleash. Opening drive from the 20 begins with an Abduhan Megakatret run. And Katret gets wrapped up right at the 23-yard line. And it'll be Brennan Dupio and Makoa Kupahu in on the tackle. Let's give you the Zippies defensive lineups here. Okay, so Trey 10, Evan Rao, Hunter Alu, Renasato, Kyle Lee. All 5 of those guys could be tested down the field tonight. This linebacking core has been great. Dylan Palama's got strong, big play power. But Micah Kaunohi Kahenui, one of the anchors up front. the 3-down lineman. Bianco fires. This is Tretch Kahuna, who gets hammered from behind by Hunter Alu, the senior, who makes a big pop and a yard shy of the line to gain.
Yeah, it's a versatile defense, right? We talked about this coming into the matchup. Kind of a 3-3-5 for Kamehameha. You'll see a lot of this. They'll give the underneath throws. The key for them, not allowing any yards after catch.
Cotret will try and muscle his way for a first down, and he will get it. In a sea of humanity, Luke Kalevahea first in on the contact, and the Crusaders will move the sticks. So Cotret, one of the better blocking backs if they decide to go out, averaging 6.3 a carry this season, extends the drive.
Yeah, it gives them a good sturdy back in the backfield, kind of your classic run and shoot running back. Good pass protector, giving the ball between the tackles, can make some of his own yards with that size.
Bianco lining up. It is caught by Mason Mua'au, averaging about 14 yards a catch prior to the start of the season. Able to bring that win into the 45-yard line. Kyle Lee tags him out of bounds.
And this play right here, this is the embodiment of the development for this team, right? Those long timing routes. Early in the season, it seemed to misfire more often than not. But a 17-yard out to Mua'au, on the money from Bianco. Excellent route running by Mua'au. That's scary if St. Louis can hit on those.
From the 45, Bianco feeling the pressure. Got out of a Dupio sack and then threw it up high to make the catch for Delora. Delora got a block downfield from Mua'au and slides inside the 15-yard line. Evan Rao finally tagged him all the way to the 13-yard line. It's a gain of 42.
And here is the danger of Bianco leaving the pocket, right? His eyes are always downfield. As dangerous as he has been tucking the football either on design runs off of zone reads or anything like that, or in the scramble drill, they got to keep him contained.
Cotret wrapped up by Brennan Dupio, got him low for the tackle. Matt Wright, defensive coordinator for Kamehameha, says, you know, it's so hard trying to beat the same team 3 times this season because everything's out on the table. So you kind of know for the most part what both teams have. It's just a matter of execution. That's what's going to make the difference, according to DC Matt Wright.
And I think that really is what boils down, right? It's just each team might throw in a few more wrinkles, but it really is going to come down to recognition and execution.
Bianco looking for Delora. It is incomplete. Nearly snatched out of the air by Evan Rao. Would have been his 3rd career pick, but just through his hands.
And this has been the calling card of these Kamehameha teams. It's a nice route by Peters Delora. A good throw probably gets him in the end zone for a touchdown, but these Kamehameha defenders always are in the right position to take advantage of some miscues by the offense. That time around, nearly coming up with a huge pick.
3rd down. Bianco, pocket collapsing. A good pickup block from Abduhan, and the throw is incomplete. Again, Dylan Palama applied the pressure. Kyle Lee nearly got the pick, and it'll bring up 4th down. And looks like we're going to get Leison Napu'unoa for a field goal. Ooh, nearly got a toe in. Napu'unoa hit a 34-yarder against Kamehameha. The 2nd time they met, October the 15th, and they're going to send somebody out. It'll be Ray Seabury, the holder, because of an equipment issue. And this crew has been very keen on making sure that everyone is safe and wearing the equipment properly. So Tretch Kahuna is the new holder. This will be from 30 yards away. Corey Yamasaki to snap it. For the game's first points. Got it. Napu'unoa. And a solid drive from the Crusaders to start off the game. 9 plays, 67 yards, and Leison Napu'unoa knocks in his 2nd field goal of the season.
Watch this. Can I please get the cheddar-loaded cheeseburger combo?
Wait, I know that voice. Danny Palumbo from high school?
No, it's Jack. Try my cheddar-loaded cheeseburger combo with cheese 3 ways.
Signature Shade Solutions started in Australia. We specialise in all shading solutions.
Simplicity HR has allowed me as a business owner to do what I do best by doing the rules and regulations, the payroll, the insurances. It really simplified everything.
And they can do their part of the business that we don't have time to do or don't know anything about. So get the best guys in the business to do it and walk away.
We're Simplicity HR by Ultras, and we're Hawaii's leader in payroll and HR outsourcing.
My cheddar-loaded cheeseburger features a jumbo patty and cheddar 3 ways, with a slice of cheddar cheese and cheddar ranch, all between a cheddar bun. Yeah, it's loaded, but you know what they say, the more cheddar, the better.
Saturday, the defending champs are heading out east for a pivotal battle in the division. Moanalua, Castle, OIA football only on XCast, exclusively on Spectrum.
And so Napu'unoa bangs one through. Of course, all the other Napu'unoas who come through this program won a state title back in 2018. Jaron Napu'unoa, he gets the scoring going for the Crusaders, and they're out in front first. Blaze Komoku back deep now to return the Ray Seabury kick. There are 3 solid kickers for the Crusaders this season. And again, not a ton of wind to play with. So St. Louis got a 30-yard field goal. What you got, Warriors? Your opening drive. Returnable. And from the 1-yard line, Blaze Komoku. Komoku in trouble, and he gets a 20-yard return to around the 22. Brandon Cordero on the special teams tackle. Zippy's starting lineups here for the Warriors. His offensive line has been so good this season. Unutoa Ka'apana, Dikilato Hickson, and Pili Aloha. Blaze Komoku has been a dangerous downfield target, averaging 14 a catch this season. Dwight Apau, Swiss Army knife on this squad, but it all shines on Kaylee Ayat and Noah Bartley. So Theo Bartley is averaging 6 yards a carry. He's been trying to stay healthy all throughout the season. Ayat dropped it off to Bartley. And Bartley caught it kind of low and got it to around the 25-yard line. Yona Purcell, who's suffered a number of arm injuries, comes in to make the tackle. He is a beast. 40, left side of your screen. Look out for him. One of the toughest linebackers in the state. Blaze Holani, solid 2. Correa in the mix. Malapeai. Secondary, Konamore on his way to play at the University of Hawaii. Xander Vincent, another solid corner. Tied formation. Run it here again, Bartley. Yona Purcell makes the tackle. 28-yard line, gain of 3 with a penalty flag down and one that came out late. Referees are very keen on the emotional level of this game. With so much on the line, they've addressed it with both teams to make sure don't let any extra stuff happen. So they have been warned prior to the game. And for the first time, Robert Victor.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, defense number 40, taunting, 15-yard penalty, results in a foul, first down.
And Yona
This is number
Purcell.
40's first unsportsmanlike foul towards ejection.
So if he gets another one, he's gone. And we talked about the emotional level. St. Louis can ill afford to do something like that. 40's in the middle, got on him, and then gave him the extra shove. And if words were shared, someone heard it, but the extra shove certainly enough to warrant the flag. Third of the game has passed. Bartley trying to find a lead block, and Bartley, who gets swallowed up. Joshua Sangopolutele forced him back, but the forward progress to the 48, and the gain was 5 with Blaze Holani helping it on the tackle.
The Warriors will take this every time, right? 5 yards a gain, tray to the right. Bartley, he is so nimble for as powerful runner he is. He can find just the tiniest little crease, and his footwork impeccable coming through, and he's going to have a fully blue helmet by the end of the year, I think.
Yeah, you ain't kidding, right? All the paint chips and scrapes. Ayat pressure up the middle, and Ayat trying to get rid of it, but he threw it. No receiver was in the area. The pressure came from Sangopolutele. The ball did not get back to the line of scrimmage either, and he was in the pocket. And the flag is out.
Yeah, and good job by this officiating crew to talk this one over. discuss whether there was a receiver anywhere near. There wasn't, and looks like we'll get that confirmation.
Intentional grounding, offense, number 6. 5-yard penalty from the pass. Loss of down, 3rd down.
One of the point of emphasis this year is that the intentional grounding is more aligned to the college and NFL rule, where if you're in the tackle box, you got to find an eligible receiver, and if you're out of it, the ball has to hit at least the line of scrimmage or further. This one did not hit any of those criterias, and so a major loss. Takes it all the way back to the 30-yard line. Ayat, 58% completion rate this season. 4 rush, 7 drop back. Ayat climbs. Samapolutele chases. Trying to get a lead block. Drake Nohara runs right after him. Out of bounds he goes to the 38-yard line. Gain of 8.
Ayat slowed down a little bit by that ankle injury earlier in the season, but you can see he's feeling a lot better. He's got the ability to extend plays with his feet and that type. Not trying to force anything. It's going to be the name of the game for him tonight. Make some timely throws, but also, most importantly, take care of the football.
Trechke Kahuna ready to return the Dwight Powell punt, but he takes off, and he's going to get a 1st down. Dwight Powell keeps the drive alive for the Warriors. To the 38-yard line, he ran it for 24.
Well, you mentioned it, Felipe. Swiss Army knife, he described him. So you can put him back there to punt, and the advantage of that is, well, the fake game is on, and I got to imagine they trust him for a read there, right? And he's counting numbers in the box, counting numbers on each side of the ball. If he's got the right equation, he's got the freedom to take off, and what a call.
And the first, the first sign for the St. Louis defense should have been, that's not the usual punter. Dwight Powell takes off for his longest rush of the year. Bartley, great job from St. Louis's defense to wrap him up. Right after him was Vincent Tautua, the freshman. One of just 8 freshmen on this team. Like a shark in the water, came right after Bartley.
Yeah, Tautua. He has been a revelation as a freshman. He was very impressive last week against Punahou as well. Wrong shouldered that lead blocker and was able to fight that off right into the backfield.
Bartley again on the left side with a marker down. Leans for a couple. Blaise Holani able to tag him. Smells like holding. That's where the flag came in. So we mentioned how Bartley has been and his value this season. He has really shouldered the load and accepted that responsibility to help carry Kamehameha this season.
Holding, offense, number 75. 10-yard penalty from the fall. 2nd down.
Marcus Hickson, the guilty party. Just past the halfway point of this first period. All right, take me in a defensive minds guy. How are you going to stop a guy like Seal Bartley?
Yeah, what we're seeing early on from this defense for St. Louis, they have really sold out. Right, a lot of bodies up near the box. Those linebackers are playing at 3 yards depth.
Ayat wide open and overthrew Peyton Kahaha by Welch. On his 3rd game back from injury, that pass sailed high.
Boy, it was a great read from Ayat. Saw it. We mentioned those linebackers up tight, so they're not really part of the equation. All you got to do is keep that safety near the hash, and you've got a whole shot. But he just let it sail a little too much there.
Might have been a communication error with Kalauko and Vincent. Because Kahaha by Welch was wide open on that sideline, and now it's 3rd and 25. Play 9 of the Warrior drive is a screen underneath. Oh, big hit. Lorenzo goes right into the freshman, Vincent Tautua. Wow.
Boy, this kid, his recognition is beyond his years. Right, he smells this all the way. And I know he's got contained to that far side of the field, but he sees those linemen release on that screen, and he's just waiting in the path.
Pal back deep to punt this one. And St. Louis wanted to take a timeout. Saw personnel, guys running off the field.
St. Louis, their first charge, timeout.
Cal Lee untoo happy. 3-0 Crusaders.
This Spectrum OC16 sports presentation is sponsored by your Hawaii Honda dealers.
Certified pre-owned Hondas. Go through an industry-leading 182-point inspection. Have 0.99% financing. And come with the peace of mind that you're driving a certified Honda.
See a Hawaii Honda dealer today.
Just because we're social distancing
doesn't mean we can't share aloha.
And our favorite Zippy's comfort food.
Cool. Look what Daddy brought.
Chili.
Chili goes great with anything. Celebrate Zippy's anniversary with a scoop of chili to any of your favorite plates. Sure to satisfy your chili cravings.
Certified pre-owned Hondas. Go through an industry-leading 182-point inspection. Have 0.99% financing. And come with the peace of mind that you're driving a certified Honda.
See a Hawaii Honda dealer today.
Abu Ma'afala, who played a couple of seasons at the University of Hawaii and transferred to Cal Berkeley, got his master's at Louisville. What he's done with this program in a short amount of time, and given the circumstances of this COVID season, it's been phenomenal. And a lot of coaches around the state have been happy for his success and what he's been able to do with this team. As Apau drops this one in front of Trechke Kohuna, it's touched right at the 20-yard line. So the punt went 34 yards and back onto the field comes the Crusaders offense. Jordan, that first drive for the Crusaders, 9 plays, 67 yards, just a shade under 3 minutes. A little bit of everything we saw.
Yeah, some of the rhythm passing game from Deloro, right? Underneath throw to Kekahuna. He had that long out to Mua'au and then got them down in the red zone, but things sputtered out. Running game couldn't quite gain some traction, then a missed connection potentially on what could have been a touchdown throw, and ultimately they have to settle for the field goal.
The big play coming from Jason Peters Delora. A 42-yard catch, which ended up in a field goal for the Crusaders. Bianco looking left, looking down the middle. It's caught right by Trechke Kohuna, wrapped up there by Pono Kinilau. Right at around the 34-yard line, 14 first down yards.
Excellent job by that offensive line. If Bianco's going to have this much time to sit, not just in the pocket, but a really clean pocket, it's impossible for these DBs to cover that long.
Bianco 4 of 6 so far. Draw it up, and Cotret lost the football. It's loose and hopped on by Hunter Alu. A turnover for the Crusaders. Hunter Alu was one of the guys at the bottom of the pile. He hopped on it first, and officially it's Micah Kaunohi Kahenui.
Boy, I'm sure St. Louis and their fans are probably thinking deja vu all over again, right? Some nightmares back to the end of the second matchup this season between these two teams, where it was basically a botched handoff that gave Kamehameha the ball back, allowed them to go down and punch in the go-ahead and ultimately winning score in that game against St. Louis, which got them the #1 seed. St. Louis having to play last week against Punahou. And this has been the recipe: turnovers, timely turnovers for Kamehameha. We'll see if they can take advantage of a short field.
Michael Mahiai is in at the running back spot. More on that in a second. A right side run. And the reason for that is because if you look on the near sideline, we'll try and get a shot for you. There's an athletic training table where Seal Bartley's had to get retaped. So that's why Mahiai is in for the moment. And they're expected to see Bartley, who just popped up from the trainer's table. And so Mahiai, who's one of the 2 steady running backs this season for the Warriors, also fumbled the football. So a couple weeks ago, both him and Bartley were carrying around a football during school. And everyone's trying to mess with him, trying to let that football go. So pass goes wide of Blaise Komoku.
And it was Blaise Holani who forced that errant pass. Pressure right in the face of Ayat. Had to get it off maybe a half second sooner than he wanted to. And now another crucial third down. Good to see Bartley back in there, though.
So Bartley, from the time that Kamehameha was punching the ball in their previous drive, was getting fixed up and taped by the athletic trainers. So Mahiai came in for a couple. Bartley in, 3rd and 8. Seal Bartley. The edge was sealed, and Connor Moore and Noah Wiley trying to help on that play on the near side. As Wiley able to tag him right at the 38-yard line. It's 4th down, and a field goal from here will be 55 yards, and the offense back on the field for the Warriors.
Yeah, you thought maybe after that 3rd down run might be 4 down territory for Kamehameha. Still got the offense out there.
It's 4th and 6. They're trying to get a free 5. It won't do you any good. Oh yeah, on 4th down. Extra attacker. The throw is high for a pow. It's incomplete. Drake Nohara was guarding him. And the Warriors come up empty. Vincent Tautua applied the pressure for the Crusaders.
I like the mindset for Kamehameha, right? You don't have to be reckless. You don't have to force the issue, but you want to be aggressive. You want to stay on the front foot and put the pressure on St. Louis in this contest as you're trying to win a championship, right? But the only problem, this St. Louis pressure continues to pay dividends. They are able to get into the backfield with something of a regularity, and it's forcing Ayat really to kind of throw off his back foot. He's back on his heels a bit. We saw it on the wide throw to Kamoku earlier on that series of downs, and then again there, right? When he's missed high and wide, and usually that's a case of not being able to step into throws.
So Crusaders take over on their own 39. Abduhan will keep it now, and Abduhan ekes forward as Pono Kinilau makes the tackle for the Warriors.
So Abduhan in there right after the fumble last series, and Bianco rode that mesh point about 3 yards downfield. Looked like he wanted to pull it, but I think it was the right decision.
Abduhan, who rushed for a touchdown the last game against Punahou. This time it's Bianco to keep it. Sheds off one tackler. It was Dylan Palama. And then finally just eats it for a gain of 1.
So he really wanted to pull it on 1st down. And this time he ends up pulling it, but the read was to give here. You got the edge defender kind of crashing inside, but then Palama, the outside linebacker, scraping down. And really the read was up the gut, and Abduhan would have had probably the 1st down if he gives it.
St. Louis 1 for 2 on 3rd down conversions tonight to kick Kahuna, who's got it. Big blast there from Renasato. And Renasato already has offers from Pacific and Whittier College. Able to tag him, but it's a 1st down for the Crusaders at the 47.
The Fighting Poets, Whittier College, down in the Skyac, Southern California. Kick Kahuna is about as reliable as you get out of the slot. Perfect guy for this run and shoot offense.
3rd catch tonight, 38th of the season, 46th of his career. 1st down. Delta, an extra blocking back. Bianco, sideline, out of bounds. Bianco's maneuverability outside the pocket has gotten better as the year has gone on.
It really has. He's a guy that we've always known, right? His straight end speed, when he can get to full stride, is really, really good. Where he's really improved at the short steps, right? The maneuverability inside of the pocket. And then allowing him to find some of those lanes, those creases, to extend plays.
Bianco, deep ball, Tawa Efa. Oh, he's got it! What a catch for the touchdown!
And that right there is an example of the advanced footwork of AJ Bianco. Sliding to his left. Watch it here. You'll see him duck under the outside pressure, get back outside, flip the hips back around, throwing across his body. And the Tauefa, boy, that's perfect high pointing of the football. Great execution all the way around, but those subtle movements inside the pocket, Bianco just keeps getting better and better at.
10-0 St. Louis. Tauefa, his third touchdown catch of the season. He had a touchdown catch in the first 2 games of the year. It has been empty the most recent 2 games. And now gets off the schneid after Palama applied the pressure. Tauefa gets by Kyle Lee for the score.
Yeah, that is high-level stuff from Bianco. I can't emphasize that enough. You think of quarterback athleticism, right, as a guy who can get outside, who can run the football, shake you out of your boots, those type of things. But it's the play in the pocket, right? Guys that you don't think of as blazing athletes, Tom Brady and the like, who are just so good in short areas of creating space, able to get their bodies in the right position. Because that throw is no easy throw to make across your body. Got to get the hips and the shoulders back around. But what he's able to do in just those tiny areas is really impressive. And you can see why, even though he hadn't made a varsity start, he had multiple Division I offers as an underclassman a couple of years ago.
A 10 spot in the first quarter with 50 to go, and from the 1, Blaise Komoku. Komoku, big pop to Evie Batoon with a big blast. You know, he was slowed down, I think, by, was it William Lentz? No, it was Hunter Lee. Ooh, Batoon, kaboom.
Yeah, nice job by both of those guys getting down there quick on coverage.
Kamehameha just 30 yards of total offense. St. Louis a $151. Bartley, big space. Kalaukoa and Holani make the tackle. First down, gain of 11. And the biggest Bartley run tonight.
This is the key for Kamehameha, right? You cannot abandon the game plan, even though you're down 2 scores. Remember, they were down 11 with 10 minutes left the last time these 2 teams played, found a way to win. And so there is a lot of ball game left, and you got to stick with what you do best, and that's running the football.
Noah Wiley off the edge, got into the zone. But the offensive line moved first, that's the question.
Encroachment, defense, number 20. 5-yard penalty, first down.
They did not. And so the sophomore gets tagged for the penalty. It is just the second one for the Crusaders this evening. St. Louis has done a good job of containing Bartley, but Bartley leaked out for his first double-digit yard dash. And more flags, this time on the far side.
Ball start. Offense number 13. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Peyton Kahahavai Welch. It was an offensive penalty.
Yeah, the question is, did it come before or after the quarter expired?
Can you reset the game clock to 3 seconds?
So we get one more play before the period ends.
Well, answers that.
Ayad, who's worked hard in the offseason on his mental exercises, trying to stay calm. Well, right now, pushed up against the ropes as he lets the clock expire here in this first quarter. St. Louis drops a dime in the first 12 minutes of the game. Kamehameha came up empty. Devin Tauefa got the score and going big time, 10-0.
Saturday, the Rainbow Wahine set their sights on a Big West Conference match against UC Riverside. Rainbow Wahine Volleyball on OC16, exclusively on Spectrum.
It's crispy, juicy, tender, as in juicy and tender, and crispy. McDonald's Crispy Chicken Sandwiches.
Southern style meets local style. Get a deluxe crispy or deluxe spicy crispy chicken sandwich meal for $7.99.
Dreaming of the day you can travel safely to your favorite places? Bank of Hawaii has a giveaway that can help you plan your next getaway.
You can't touch this.
Announcing Bank of Hawaii's 5 million Hawaiian miles giveaway. Every time you pay using your Bank of Hawaii's contactless debit card during our 5 million Hawaiian miles giveaway, you're entered for a chance to win enough miles for a round trip to LA, Orlando, and more. So for the chance to bank miles for when we're all ready to travel again, use the debit card from the only Bank of Hawaiian miles, Bank of Hawaii.
You can't touch this.
Saturday, the Rainbow Warriors are determined for a conference win when they travel to Logan, Utah. It's a showdown between your Hawaii Rainbow Warriors and the Utah State Aggies. Order it today on Spectrum Sports Pay-Per-View.
Well, it's the final Friday before Halloween, the final one of October. We hope all of you have a very safe Halloween. We just happen to have a jack-o'-lantern, I guess, in the prop department. Is that what happened? Okay. We had a pumpkin budget.
I thought they were cleaning out the closets here in Los Angeles.
I thought so too. Second quarter begins. It's a run right up the middle. Look at him go. We talked about the high motor and the toughness. Bartley, who thought that his knee was not down, but he was called down right to the 32-yard line.
Yeah, I mean, this guy's just a natural running back, right? The balance, the power, the speed.
Oh, his
elbow's
knee
down. But yeah, I don't think the knees ever went down. Elbow was down for sure.
Yep, elbow right there. Well, the forearm, yeah, and the left one too.
Let's see why he just kept on running though.
2nd and 6. Ayat down the sideline. Oh, he overthrew Duke Lorenzo. It's the 3rd overthrow from Ayat tonight.
Boy, it was a good pocket there from this Kamehameha offensive line. And Ayat trying to zoom it in there. And sometimes as a quarterback, right, you just try to be a little too precise. And try to make every throw perfect. But it doesn't need to be, especially when you got a guy that wide open. And boy, Ayat seeing the field well, just not able to quite connect with his guys yet.
Ball start. Offense number 53. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
On Denzel Unotoa, the senior. Not a lot of targets on this Kamehameha receiving core, too. Of those starting receivers, nobody's over 6 feet. Some guys push near 6 feet, some basketball players. But Ayat has been unable to connect on him. Penalty makes it 3rd and 9. Ayat Samapolutele gets the sack. First of the season.
And there's more of that St. Louis pressure. It's only a 4-man rush. Done a nice job. Tautua kind of mixing into that pass rush element, and then you got Sangapolutele inside, right, working against some of those interior offensive linemen where that's a mismatch.
Here's a foul nearly blocked by Holani. The pressure came from him and Kikahuna. We'll just see this one skip in front of him. Pretty good kick from a Powell. Look at this roll. All the way down. They're trying to fan at it. He'll get all the way to the 27-yard line. 52 on the punt. Not a lot of wind here in the stadium, but if you have 6 guys there just trying to fan it through, Levi Maafala, you take whatever you can get.
Yes, sometimes every inch counts.
Yeah.
Especially when you got that guy you're trying to slow down.
Bianco's only missed 2 passes tonight, 6 of 8, 128 yards, and a touchdown to Devin Talefa. St. Louis convincingly defeating Punahou last week in the semis. Bianco to Delora. Big blast from Renasato. That's a senior tackling a junior, and a big gain to the 46-yard line and a pickup of 27.
Makoa Kupaho nearly getting there, but look at all the time that Bianco is having to enjoy in the pocket, and that's allowed these St. Louis receivers to work deep zone beaters, especially crossing over the middle of the field.
Bianco trying to hang on to that one with Abduhan leading the way. Good run of 8. Brennan Dupio able to make the tackle, and Dupio now has his game-high 3rd tackle.
Yeah, that read on the edge defender for Bianco been a little murky for him so far on whether to give to the running back or keep it around the edge. That time he said, heck, I'll just follow the running back through the hole as a lead blocker.
Now we give it to Abduhan, and Abduhan into Luke Kalevahe, who's trying to pry that football out, but the scrappiness from the sophomore, whose brother plays in the Kamehameha 2 team, able to move the pile and get a first down at the 30. Gain of 9.
Yeah, Abduhan, not a big guy, but he is incredibly strong. You see it here, right? Keep the legs churning. Guy's trying to rip that ball away from you.
Bianco from the 30 wants to go underneath, and it's stretch kick Kahuna. There are just windows that are opening. Kyle Lee on the bottom side able to hang on to his legs. Near the first down stick, and already a timeout taken as Matt Wright says, hey, I got to talk to my defense.
Their first charge timeout on the half.
Crusaders are just gashing Kamehameha. 203 total yards offense so far.
How deep do Pizza Hut's roots run in Hawaii? Through all the decades, we know what our island ohana love. Great taste at an even better price. Like our large 3-topping carry-out pizza for just $11.99. You choose your favorite toppings, meat, vegetables, or any combination that totals 3. Our $11.99 large 3-topping pizza. Order online and carry one out today. Only at Hawaii Pizza Hut.
When you vaccinate somebody, it's to not change the DNA of the host. It's familiarizing your body with a blueprint. When your body recognizes that blueprint, then it starts to take action. When it comes to COVID and COVID variant, taking 2 shots is the best science has given us so far. And what we're finding is that the immunization works very well against the Delta variant as well. The vaccine is easy to get. You can go right around the corner and get it. It's not difficult, it's not complicated.
With OC16.TV, you never have to worry about choosing which game to watch at home or missing a game if you're on the go. Look for the Now Playing section on the homepage, find the channel you'd like to watch, sign in with your Spectrum username and password, and enjoy.
Let me take a look at Abu Ma'afalo. Kamehameha's had an interesting schedule because since their Punahou game to start off the month, they had a bye, then played St. Louis, and then another bye to play St. Louis. So within 4 weeks, they've only played about a game and a half. Abduhan eking through. Hunter Alu on the side, able to make the tackle. The 13-yard line, gain of 8. Abduhan averaging 5.5 a carry this year, already surpassing the 200-yard rushing plateau.
Yeah, I think that's such an interesting element to this game, right? This is St. Louis' 4th game in 4 weeks. Right, as busy a team as anybody in the state at this point, but Kamehameha coming off of those byes.
Bianco will keep it himself and score. Touchdown, Crusaders.
And I think for both teams, it probably works out in the best case scenario. St. Louis, I think, just needed to play games. They needed reps, whereas Kamehameha, with how physical they play, a little rest might not hurt. But Bianco right now, just on this zone read, is gashing teams. It's his 7th rushing touchdown in the last 4 games, basically 3.5. And a few of them have come right there on that play.
Slides that one through. 3rd rushing touchdown against the Warriors this season for the future Rainbow Warrior. And the senior puts St. Louis up 17 on OC 16.
Keeping Hawaii student athletes in top shape starts with protecting their teeth. That's why Hawaii Dental Service encourages student athletes to use mouthguards to prevent or reduce the impact of an injury. Mouthguards are not just for football players, but can help protect all sports athletes. Custom-fit mouth guards can lessen the impact of a sports injury to the head, protecting the mouth, jaw, and face. Parents, encourage your student athletes to ask their coach or school's athletic director about using a mouth guard so they can live well and smile more with HDS.
Dreaming of the day you can travel safely to your favorite places? Bank of Hawaii has a giveaway that can help you plan your next getaway.
You can't touch this.
Announcing Bank of Hawaii's 5 million Hawaiian miles giveaway. Every time you pay using your Bank of Hawaii's contactless debit card during our 5 million Hawaiian miles giveaway, you're entered for a chance to win enough miles for a round trip to LA, Orlando, and more. So for the chance to bank miles for when we're all ready to travel again, use the debit card from the only Bank of Hawaiian miles, Bank of Hawaii.
You can't touch this.
Monday, two of the best in the West. Lock it up one more time. Kapolei, Mililani, Hawaii Girls Volleyball only on OC 16. Exclusively on Spectrum.
Just over 2 minutes, and Bianco, who is in that pile, able to get a rushing touchdown. It's third one against the Warriors this season. And now St. Louis is on top 17-0. So Ray Seabury gets ready to kick this one away. The Warriors just do not look like the team that beat St. Louis the previous 2 times, let alone the team that beat Punho to start off the month. I mean, there's a certain level of passion that a lot of these players have to try and get to the state tournament by the end of tonight, but that one goes into the end zone and they'll have it at the 20-yard line. And again, when you play a team like St. Louis or Kahuku, there is that cloud that lingers over the game of, can we beat the brand? Can we beat the team? Can we beat all the coaches? And sometimes teams get intimidated from that. Kamehameha has failed to execute tonight. 17 plays, 40 yards, but they've had 3 big overthrows and one that could end up in a touchdown here, Jordan, that at least would have shifted momentum one way or the other.
Yeah, with the way St. Louis is playing, right? You don't know how many of those opportunities you're going to have throughout the 4 quarters, and so you can ill afford to really let those go by the wayside.
Try and get a sweep as Blaze Komoku gets popped. Sango Polutele came a long way to help make the tackle with Vincent Tautua and Blaze Holani.
Yeah, this Crusader front 7 is just flying to the football. They are playing downhill. They know the Warriors want to run the football, whether it's between the tackles or changing it up a little bit with Bartley lead blocking on a fly sweep. They are really not paying much attention to the pass game within that front 7 and trusting those defensive backs to kind of lock things down.
Play action, pressure coming. This is intercepted. Easy pick for Xander Vincent. He made that look way too easy. And he gets his first one of the year.
Yeah, Vincent just dropping in his zone, little play action look, bootleg. And a couple of guys in there pressuring for St. Louis, including Matt Malapai. And that has been one of the biggest differences, I think, from the first couple of games between these two. The Crusader pass rush getting in there with a much higher regularity, and it has not really allowed Kamehameha to get anything going in the passing game. And Ayat probably should have held on to that one, or at least looked to throw it out of bounds. A gift for the Crusaders, short field.
Abduhan up the middle into the arms of Mokoa Kopahu, who is plugging up that hole. And some extras after the end of it, and another late flag as Kopahu comes out of the pile. And now the emotions start to come out. And Bianco doing a good job showing some leadership and saying, hey, Abduhan, shape up.
Yeah, and the key for both of these teams, right? I mean, if you're staring at a game next week, you definitely don't want to find yourself disqualified from this one and have to miss next week as well. There's a much bigger picture here. Whether it's a state tournament game down the road for Kamehameha or a rematch next week.
After the play, personal foul, defense, number 52. Half the distance, first down.
So Kupau plugged up the hole. 52 right there in the dark blue jersey. Took Aptuhan down to the ground. And then Aptuhan initially started that contact after the play was over, unless Kupahu said something after him. So it takes it out of frame, and then when Aptuhan popped up, gave him a little bit of a shove. In the meantime, here comes Delto, and then Alu able to push him back. So Delta was in there to block. Bianco in the middle of the pile, able to hang on to that one. I'll bring up second down. Crusaders, who have scored 29 points this year. An easy move for Bianco, but a sack for Brennan Dupio. Gets his third sack of the season, his second against the Crusaders in 2021.
And so Dupio's largely been playing like a spy against Bianco. And so when Bianco gives that run fake, that sort of frees up Dupio to rush up into the backfield, and that time able to corral Bianco around the legs and get him down. Big third down here.
Tawaea for the lone target up top. Bianco fires the opposite way. And this one is brought in by Delora, who's reaching for, but Evan Rao able to wrap him up near the first down stick. Going to be very close. Right at the 5-yard line.
Yeah, very, very close. Excellent effort by Peters Delora. Kind of knew where he was. Maybe shorted about a half-yard on the spot. Tough to tell where that knee hit.
And you got to take your points when you can get them, and St. Louis doing just that. Napu'unoa hit one from 30 earlier. Good solid leg. This is from 22. The snap wasn't the greatest, but the hold made up for it by Seabury. And Napu'unoa able to slide that one through again. Everybody scoring points here for Kamehameha, but this all started from Xander Vincent's interception from 22 out. Napu'unoa, give me some dap. 20-0.
This Spectrum OC16 sports presentation is sponsored by Pizza Hut and Taco Bell.
Being able to buy a home in Hawaii, it's just amazing. This gives us the opportunity to kind of like change our station in life. Hawaii VA Loans was a very critical part of our success, giving us that support throughout each step of the way that we felt like we had another member on our team that was just there to back us up.
.507 remaining. Hawaii girls volleyball coming your way on Monday. Big matchup, Kapolei and Mililani. Saw Kapolei earlier in the week get a win against Waipahu. That West Division is loaded with Waianae in the mix. Game Day Hawaii presented by Pizza at 6:45 gets us going Monday in Millville. You expected this?
I thought St. Louis was a much better team than we've seen early in the season. But no, not quite the point differential at this point. You know, with the way that Kamehameha has been able to run the ball, even though teams, know what's coming. Thought we'd see a little bit more from this Kamehameha offense up to this point.
38 yards of total offense, by the way. 36 of them on the ground.
Still a lot of ball game left.
At the 20-yard line, they'll get it. All right, what do you want to see on this drive that'll give some positive vibes here for the Warriors?
Yeah, I think for Kamehameha, you've got to stick with the run, right? It's not to a point where you've got to abandon C.O. Bartley as the focal point of this offense. But they've got to start hitting on some of these passes, right? They've got to get Ayat going in the passing game, get some completions, build that confidence back up. And a lot of that's going to come with some positive gains on first down in particular. They've been behind the chains far too often tonight. Even when they've gotten some good positive first down runs, penalties have really derailed some of these drives as well.
75% of the picks this year he's thrown has come against the Crusaders. Bartley stopped. Blaise Holani in there. Yona Purcell in there. Kalaukoa in there. Got a run of about 5.5. Bartley has been the definition of toughness this season. Had 14 rushing touchdowns as a starting running back in his JV year with the Warriors. The COVID year took one of his varsity years out, and he is certainly compensated for that lost time with his performance this year. Another penalty flag down.
Encroachment, defense number 41. 5-yard penalty, results in a foul, the first down.
Julian Savainaya. That's just the 4th first down for the Warriors this evening. 4:20 remaining till the half. Another run. And this time it's Dicky Lotto leading out in front of Bartley. Bartley gets 4 yards.
Yeah, can you hear the St. Louis linebackers calling out some of the run plays, seeing a little something from that Kamehameha offensive line perhaps as to, you know, what direction these runs are going, who's pulling, who's not. And Bartley again a little banged up. Saw him get retaped after the first drive. Not a good sign. Coming back out.
2nd and 6. Extra protection and a run for Micah Mahihai. Mahihai's got some of the most muscular legs on this team. One of the strongest and baddest dudes as well. And he muscles his way to move the chains for the Warriors.
And the nice thing for Kamehameha, right? You've got a very capable number 2 in Mahihai. They can get the job done. And they may be relying on him quite a bit.
And for the first time, the Warriors go empty this evening. Ayat puts it up top. Incomplete. Another overthrow to Ma'afala. Holani was running out there. Kalaukoa was running too. That's now 4 overthrows. Shaden Iokia will come in on this offensive formation for Ayat. Was gone just 2 for 8 for 2 yards and 1 interception. And again, we mentioned Bartley leaving earlier in the first quarter to have his ankle retaped. And now the athletic trainers are looking at that same left leg. Mahihai right side. Malapeai on the top side. Able to help make the tackle with Kalaukoa getting his legs. Inside of 3 minutes now.
And it's a good sign for Kamehameha that they can still crack off 3-4 yards a carry with Mahihai in there. But you know, down 20-0 here late in the second quarter. They've got to start hitting on some of those opportunities in the pass game as Ma'afala was open and just 1.5 yards out in front 2 plays ago.
Timeout, St. Louis.
Timeout, St. Louis. Their second charge timeout.
So more time to be taken.
And the Crusaders a little mixed up in terms of what they wanted to do alignment-wise defensively, and a good late time out there on what is a critical 3rd down here.
Well, either this week or next week, we're going to start filling out the tickets punched for the state tournament. Still a long ways to go for the OIA to figure out who are their representatives, but either Kamehameha or St. Louis will be written under the ILH champion. 4 teams heading into the HHSA Division I Open tournament. Kamehameha trying to do it tonight. St. Louis trying to do it next week. And if they need to do it next week, we'll see them on Spectrum OC 16 at 7 o'clock. All right, so much attention has been brought on Bartley the last few plays. For more on that, here's Jimmy.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. You can see right now that they are putting the ice pack on that high ankle shin area. That's the spot that he was grabbing when he came off the field. So we'll see how long this keeps him out of the game. Back to you.
All right, Jimmy, thank you so much for that. Now the question is, you sit him out for the rest of the game and maybe use him for next week? Or do you see how far he can go? The passing game has to get picked up. The throw is caught by Shaden Iokia. Iokia's had a touchdown catch in each of the last 2 games. Brings this one in at the 50-yard line for a gain of 4. And Xander Vincent tags him out of bounds.
St. Louis brings the house against this empty set, forces the quick throw. And a nice job by Kalalkoa. And then Vincent reading it to go with the tackle short of the chains.
Late substitutions. Matt Malapai coming out there, and so St. Louis has to burn another timeout.
The third and final timeout of the half.
Cal Lee talking to his defense in a 20-0 game, and we shine the spotlight tomorrow over in Kaneohe as we'll take a drive through the 8-3, Moanalua and Castle. For all of you on November 5th, if St. Louis wins tonight, Waipahu and Moanalua are going to go to XCast that day. And then St. Louis and Kamehameha will be on OC 16. But as of now, it's Marauders, Namenehu on OC 16. But again, if St. Louis wins, we'll drop that game to XCast. Campbell and Kapolei in a showdown for the sledgehammer. Farrington and I kick off the second weekend in November as we march all the way down to late December to end the HHS 8 state championships. There you see Cal Lee, defensive coordinator, most wins all time, 296 as a head coach. Decided to take a step back this year, but essentially St. Louis has 2 head coaches, one in the booth, Ron Lee, the other Cal Lee. 4th down, Warriors almost got to go for it. And Mahia not going to get there. Crusader defense with Vincent Tautua and Roy Mafala Jr. to make the stop. They are cooking with gas.
And they bring Iokia back in as that H-back, and so it invites everybody down inside the box, right? It's a simple numbers game. And really just too many guys to block inside, and Mahia was going to have to make some magic to get that last 1.5 yards. And not in the cards, and still plenty of time for this Crusader offense to get back working.
No chances to stop the clock. 2-minute drill to add to an already 20-point advantage. Bianco wants to load up, will load up downfield. Mason Mua'au batted away beautifully. Evan Rao in coverage. Oh, Mua'au. 3 catches, 99 yards, a couple scores last week against the Buff and Blue. Nearly had a major touchdown, and Rao nearly had a takeaway.
Yeah, this ball's in the air a long time, and so for Rao to track that thing the entire way, not an easy task for those defensive backs out there. Nice play by him.
2nd down, Bianco, time in the pocket, shot down the middle, an easy catch for Tauaefa. It's a 1st down grab after Renasato grabs onto him. 37-yard line, gain of 13.
It's at least 4 or 5 times tonight St. Louis has been able, and this offensive line has been able to give Bianco enough time to hit those deep dig routes, 2nd level drags out of the slots.
Draw play, Delto. Dupio hog-tied him, no gain. And Dupio working hard. He's got 5 tackles already.
Yeah, Dupio is just so good at recognizing and diagnosing what's happening in front of him. Gets sort of lost in the wash, and all of a sudden he's right there to make the tackle.
Bianco all kind of time. Tauaefa. Oh, nearly made a great over-the-shoulder grab. Incomplete, though. Almost had more magic from DT.
Yeah, Tauaefa's basically double covered here. He's bracketed. You got the corner. And then Sato, the safety, over the top, and he ran right by both of them. That's the speed that this guy has in Tauefla.
Play clock down to 5. Bianco slides out. Bianco is gonna throw it away. Incomplete. Now they're gonna say, was he in the tackle box? And then the ball get to the line of scrimmage, which they will rule it did.
Intentional grounding. The pass was thrown outside of the tackle box and it reached the line of scrimmage.
And there you go. Good job from Robert Victor to clarify all that. The pressure came from Brennan Dupio, and it's 4th down.
It right on the edge, and Dupio again. Remember, he's that spy guy, and so once.
Timeout, Kamehameha. 2nd charge timeout.
Once Bianco looks like he's going to tuck and run, or if he looks like he's going to break the pocket, Dupio's got free reign to come up and go get him, and forcing him into a situation where all he could do is just throw away the football. Nice job. Back to back. Well, really 2 out of the last 3 plays by Dupio.
All right, for everyone at home watching this game thinking, oh, this is going to be a close game. I think you'd be in the majority in their argument. But obviously right now it's 20-0. Kamehameha does get the ball. We still have a whole nother half to go. How do you keep faith for a team that's down 20 right now?
Yeah, for this Kamehameha team, right, they have sort of been up against the wall all season long. Nearly beating Punahou in the opener. A crazy double deflection touchdown pass you give up at the end, right? And then they were faced with the prospect of having to win 3 games over their final 3, and they were able to do that. They were down 11 points in the 4th quarter against St. Louis the last time they met up with the Crusaders, and so they have shown the ability time and time again to sort of dig themselves out of holes, and I think they've got to remind themselves of that, and I'm sure Coach Abu will do that at halftime, and telling this group what they have already accomplished this season and what they can here later this game.
4th down, Bianco. Pass is caught over the middle. It's Tretch Kikahuna, tagged by Rena Sato. The clock will stop to move the chains. It is a gain of 20 as it stands. And Bianco wants to clock it to save time, which he does. Oh, right in front of Hunter Alu.
I mean, that's a good a catch, as you'll see. A body flying right in front of you, you've got to extend. The only way you can get that is to go get it with your hands. That is impressive from Kikahuna. And the trust from Bianco to put it out there for him to go make a play.
Mua'au, the lone receiver, bottom of your screen. They play off of him. Red zone target. 24 to go to the break. Bianco with a marker down, throws it wide open. It is Delora who's got it, but we got to check the flag, which came on the near sideline, and that'll pause the awkward celebration that Tretch wanted to have with Jason. Remember, this flag came on the near sideline.
Touchdown is good. Kamehameha, it's your official sideline warning.
A sideline warning. And so the official celebration here for Delora. To make it 26-0.
First time we've really seen St. Louis, I think, tonight run this concept. You basically got a post by the wideout, and then from the slot, you got a corner route. It's a little post corner concept, razor concept. And with that post taking the safety to the middle of the field, you got Peters Delora running wide open to the corner. And you see mixed in with that, the trips receivers, you run a little arrow underneath, keep everybody occupied in front, opening up a lot of space down the sideline. And it is a great zone beater, especially against the cover 2 look, cover 4, which we've seen a lot of from Kamehameha. Just well executed there, and the Crusaders right now are rolling. The last couple of weeks, this offense has taken it to another level.
Scored the last 62 consecutive points. The 27 tonight, the 35 against the Buff and Blue. Warriors coming off a bye week. St. Louis has had a whole bunch of nail biters as Peters Delora able to get his touchdown. First of the season. Well, 15 seconds to go. This is going to be a monumental climb for the Warriors, who will have the ball to start off the second half by virtue of winning the toss. But for a team that's been averaging 330 yards per game, they've only mustered 63 so far through the first 23 minutes and 45 seconds.
And so you asked the question, I think, Felipe, which is a very fair one. And I think one this coaching staff will have further conversations about with C.O. Bartley. And we don't know what his availability is anyway. But if there's a chance he can go in the second half, is it worth it, right? Then you don't want to say that they're out of it by any stretch of the imaginations as they take the knee here to just take this into the locker room. But it's something to consider, right? When you know you've got next week in your back pocket.
Man, talk about dominance in the first half. Both sides of the ball for the Crusaders. It's the reason why they're the defending Division I Open champs. They're up 27-0 in the ILH second round final.
After my husband passed away, I actually visited every senior living community from Punalu'u to Hawaii Kai, and Arcadia was head and shoulders above the rest. Everyone, from the top manager to the valet, calls you by name. They even check every morning to make sure you're okay. It makes me feel very safe and secure. I love it here. It's the best decision I ever made.
Connect your financial world with First Hawaiian Bank. It all starts with yes.
You're watching Hawaii High School Sports on Spectrum XCast.
This year, we are more thankful than ever. Instead of spending your time cooking, order a pre-made Thanksgiving feast from Zippy's.com or give one to those who deserve it most, so you can spend more time together. Order Zippy's Thanksgiving packages online and save up to $20. Order now, we usually sell out.
Answer the call to adventure.
In a certified pre-owned Honda that goes through an industry-leading 182-point inspection. Comes with a 7-year powertrain warranty, 24/7 roadside assistance, complimentary oil changes, low 0.99% financing, and the peace of mind that you're driving a certified Honda.
See a Hawaii Honda dealer today and tell them Henry sent you.
Well, that escalated quickly. 27-0 Crusaders at the half. With the win tonight, they'll be the round 2 champion and force a winner-take-all ILH championship playoff next Friday. 2 quarters away from doing just that. Jordan Helly, Felipe Ohastro, Jimmy Bender in just a moment. So again, the Crusaders proving why they are the reigning state champions with just a clinical display of offense and defense from what we saw.
Yeah, this is a group that we've seen throughout the season. You know, a lot of guys stepping into roles that didn't have a lot of experience as underclassmen. AJ Bianco, one of them, some of these receivers as well. And what we have seen week in, week out, they just keep getting better. And Ron Lee has touched on this, right? And I think it's a group that just needed game reps, and we are seeing sort of the fruits of that labor here tonight.
And how about AJ Bianco, right? I mean, 17 of 17 last week against the Buff and Blue. He goes 12 of 17 in this half alone. 220 yards, 42-yard gain to Jason Peters Delora. When he gets time, windows open, and he is nails on target.
Yeah, he really is, and he just looks so much more comfortable than he did in the first couple of games this season. And the chemistry that he has, particularly with those two slot receivers in Kekahuna and Peters Delora, really allows him to kind of move around, find those guys downfield, find them in the quick game, and then those two big physical wideouts, big home run threats.
And we know how good this defense was. We saw with Sangapolo Tele, Xander Vincent got an interception, but some of the youth picking up here for the Crusaders in big moments in the first two periods of play.
Yeah, Vincent Altua, you know, especially in that first quarter, he seemingly was in the middle of every play defensively, 55 out there for St. Louis. And you pair some of that youth, some of that exuberance with the veteran nature of guys like Purcell and Holani, and it has been a nice complement at that linebacking core where they have really gotten after the backfield for Kamehameha, attacking the run and then getting a lot of pressure on Ayat in the passing game.
Give me the state of the Warrior offense from where you stand right now.
Yeah, I think for this group, right, if Bartley's unable to go, that's a huge, huge blow, and we've seen him come out a couple of times, get that ankle retaped, then he had to come out again, get it iced. And so for Kamehameha, if that is not part of the equation, they're really going to have to throw a ton on the shoulders of Keali'i Ayat. And again, he's seen the field decently well, but the connection just has not been there. The accuracy is something that they are going to have to get sorted out.
And they made Bartley look very human, pedestrian numbers by his standards. 8 carries, 32 yards, averaging roughly 6 a carry heading in, 4 a carry so far. They've loaded up a box. They stopped every hole. He only had one run, more than 10 yards so far in that first half. Kamehameha in their first drive went 9 plays, 24 yards. The next 5 drives, they went 18 plays for just 38 yards. They have to get something cooking. Otherwise, they're back here next Friday with even more pressure on them to try and get to the state tournament.
Yeah, without a doubt, right? And those 32 yards for Bartley, they were tough, tough yards, and he was doing some of that work himself. And so they are going to have to find ways to spread the football out a little bit and soften that box because the pressure in Ayat's face has just been relentless.
All right, what will happen as Kamehameha gets the ball to start the third quarter? More to come here from Aloha Stadium. 27-0.
Watch this. Can I please get the cheddar loaded cheeseburger combo?
Wait, I know that voice. Danny Palumbo from high school?
No, it's Jack. Try my cheddar loaded cheeseburger combo with cheese 3 ways.
Yes, sir. We are Hawaii, Hawaii self-story. That's cool. For the ohana, the best value you can get. Safety is number 1. Right. Joke space, second to none. Yes, sir. We are Hawaii, Hawaii self-story.
Keeping Hawaii student athletes in top shape starts with protecting their teeth. That's why Hawaii Dental Service encourages student athletes to use mouthguards to prevent or reduce the impact of an injury. Mouthguards are not just for football players, but can help protect all sports athletes. Custom-fit mouthguards can lessen the impact of a sports injury to the head, protecting the mouth, jaw, and face. Parents, encourage your student athletes to ask their coach or school's athletic director about using a mouthguard so they can live well and smile more with HDS.
Being able to buy a home in Hawaii, it's just amazing. This gives us the opportunity to kind of like change our station in life. Hawaii VA Loans was a very critical part of our success, giving us that support throughout each step of the way that we felt like we had another member on our team that was just there to back us up.
My cheddar loaded cheeseburger features a jumbo patty and cheddar 3 ways with a slice of cheddar cheese and cheddar ranch, all between a cheddar bun. Yeah, it's loaded, but you know what they say, the more cheddar, the better.
Final Friday in October on the road to the HHSAA State Championship. Here at Aloha Stadium, it's 27-0, St. Louis on top of Kamehameha. Take me in the locker room right now. If you're the coach of Kamehameha, Abu Ma'afala, what are you telling your team right now?
Yeah, I think for them, they've got to regroup a little bit, obviously. And for this group that has accomplished so much already through the ILH season, I think it's sort of reminding yourself, right, how you got to this point. And they have obviously beaten this St. Louis team a couple of different times. And so I think it's just restoring a little bit of the confidence for Kamehameha and then getting them ready to a point where, hey, look, you're not necessarily telling your guys this, but you want to build some momentum. If you can make a charge at this game, that is great. But you want to feel good about things heading into next week if it does come down to that.
All right, let's take a look at the halftime stats. And they're all one-sided, literally. 220 passing, just 6 for Kamehameha. More penalties for the Warriors. Ishima's had a turnover. Ayat has thrown an interception. St. Louis has fumbled the football. Third down conversions, 2 for 5 in the advantage for the Crusaders. Crusader defense was solid in the first 2 quarters of play. 2 sacks, 5 tackles for loss, and they have been relentless against the kids from the Hill.
They really have, and it's in large part been this front 7 just getting after Kamehameha offensively, right? Challenging the Warriors at their strength, and that is that offensive line and the running game. We talked about how much they've corralled Bartley, and how much they have pressured Ayat really every series so far in this ball game, and it has been tough sledding and kind of a nightmare out there for the Warriors offensively to get anything going.
I will say, though, there is a positive for this Kamehameha team. The defense, and Brennan Dupio, not the biggest of guys, but he's playing much larger in his 5'7" stature. Fearless, plugging gaps, getting in there, and trying to create a spark and make it uncomfortable for Bianco.
Yeah, Dupio's one of my favorite guys to watch in the state. He is so active, and he is so smart in how he recognizes plays and then is able to go and execute on those reads. And it has sort of been he and Bianco mano a mano in a lot of these matchups throughout, because he's been that spy guy, and his responsibility is Bianco with the legs, then his run support. He's been everywhere.
5 tackles, a sack for him, a quarterback hurry in the process for the first 24 minutes. Still not enough, as right now Kamehameha, trying to get to the state tournament, has got a goose egg, a Cheerio, a ring on the board. Down 27.
Signature Shade Solutions started in Australia. We specialize in all shading solutions.
Simplicity HR has allowed me as a business owner to do what I do best by doing the rules and regulations, the payroll, the insurances. It really simplified everything.
And they can do their part of the business that we don't have time to do or don't know anything about. So get the best guys in the business to do it and walk away.
We're Simplicity HR by Ultras, and we're Hawaii's leader in payroll and HR outsourcing.
Mike's Engraving and Trophies, the official provider for Spectrum OC16 and Spectrum XCast.
How's it? I'm Jimmy Bender. You're watching Spectrum XCast.
Answer the call to adventure.
In a certified pre-owned Honda that goes through an industry-leading 182-point inspection. Comes with a 7-year powertrain warranty, 24/7 roadside assistance, complimentary oil changes, low 0.99% financing, and the peace of mind that you're driving a certified Honda.
See a Hawaii Honda dealer today and tell them Henry sent you.
Hey, I'm Chase Machado from the OIA.
And I'm Joey Ferrer from the ILH.
And just like the IBW Local 1186,
the brothers help support Hawaii high school athletics here in the state of Hawaii.
lighting your path to the future.
Because you're going to need to see where you're going if you're going very far.
Go OIA!
Go ILH!
That's a flag right there.
Wave it off the flag.
Hey, why are you waving them off,
man?
man?
What school you in, Greg?
Yeah.
IBEW Local 1186, supporting Hawaii athletics and Hawaii's communities yesterday, today, and beyond. Visit our website for more info.
St. Louis with the big lead here after one half of play at Aloha Stadium over Kamehameha. How's it, Jimmy Bender? And speaking of St. Louis, by the way, I had the honor of emceeing the St. Louis Homecoming and Letterman Court earlier this month. What a fun time that was. It was videotaped for the ceremony. And by the way, guess who was dubbed Mr. Football on the Letterman Court? That would be the quarterback, A.J. Bianco, Mr. Football. And by the way, while most of the athletes that got Letterman honors had their mom or their dad escort them, AJ decided to have, there you go, La'akea Kapoi snapping the ball to him, a couple of his offensive linemen, and there's Iapani Lalaulu holding the sign that does indeed declare that AJ is Mr. Football. And then, of course, we got him there with the fancy St. Louis sign in the background, taking the nice pictures. It was a really fun time. Thank you to Nani Vegas and all the crew over there that helped set that up, and what a great ceremony. Let's see if Mr. Football for St. Louis can continue this dominance into the second half and force another game between St. Louis and Kamehameha next week. Second half coming up on Spectrum OC16.
The Hawaii State Department of Health reminds you, mask up, get vaccinated.
COVID is very different from the flu. It's much harder to come back from. It took me about 3 months to feel 100% again. And some people in my family are still experiencing some effects from it. I was a little hesitant about getting the vaccine, but they had been talking about how effective it was at getting at the Delta variant. So I went ahead and got the vaccine even though I've had antibodies, and I'm doing great. I feel healthy after a year of being terrified. It's good to feel a little bit more comfortable in the world.
This year, we are more thankful than ever. Instead of spending your time cooking, order a pre-made Thanksgiving feast from Zippys.com or give one to those who deserve it most, so you can spend more time together. Order Zippy's Thanksgiving packages online and save up to $20. Order now, we usually sell out.
27-point lead for the Crusaders as Kamehameha is trying to find some kind of spark that would light a monumental comeback here against the four-time defending Division I Open champions. For St. Louis, got the scoring going on the board with Napuno's 30-yard field goal. It was St. Louis's opening drive. And then how about the maneuverability in the pocket? Tawaefa, man, he's going to cut the back half of that football. 45 yards out, scored it. Bianco rushed it from 13 in. Napuno slid one through again. And then Jason Peters Delora. How about some flash? Got the toe in. Feeling good if you're part of the Lou. Crusaders on top. 27-0. Second half kick when you come back here in Spectrum OC16.
Certified pre-owned Hondas. Go through an industry-leading 182-point inspection. Have 0.99% financing. And come with the peace of mind that you're driving a certified Honda.
See a Hawaii Honda dealer today.
How deep do Pizza Hut's roots run in Hawaii? Through all the decades, we know what our island ohana love. Great taste at an even better price. Like our large 3-topping carry-out pizza for just $11.99. You choose your favorite toppings, meat, vegetables, or any combination that totals 3. Our $11.99 large 3-topping pizza. Order online and carry one out today. Only at Hawaii Pizza Hut.
Certified pre-owned Hondas. Go through an industry-leading 182-point inspection. Have 0.99% financing. And come with the peace of mind that you're driving a certified Honda.
See a Hawaii Honda dealer today.
Saturday, the Rainbow Warriors are determined for a conference win when they travel to Logan, Utah. It's a showdown between your Hawaii Rainbow Warriors and the Utah State Aggies. Order it today on Spectrum Sports Pay-Per-View.
All right, there have been about 3 separate occasions where C.O. Bartley has had to visit the athletic trainer's table. They have taped up that ankle. They have iced the upper part of the shin. And then they have retaped it again. So he's just trying to see if he can get maneuverability there. Again, his status is questionable for the rest of the game, but he's in good hands with some of the best athletic trainers in the state. So if he's not able to go, how do you approach this second half now, knowing that your best offensive weapon will be unavailable?
Yeah, I think, you've got a very capable backup in Micah Mahiai, and so he can give you a lot in the pass. In the rushing attack, but they're going to have to open it up regardless, right down for scores here, and so they're going to have to involve obviously Keli Ayat and trying to find a way to get the ball into some of their playmakers' hands, whether it's Komoku, Levi Ma'afala, Apau, and see if they can't create some opportunities for chunk plays to really open things up and then maybe free Mahiai a little bit out of the backfield. But I think if Bartley's nowhere near 100%, I think the prudent thing probably is to let him heal up as much as he can.
Kameme has been unable to do anything on special teams really this season, other than the fake punt, if you want to call it that, from Dwight Apau earlier in the game. Kameme hasn't had a kick return for a touchdown in 6 years. And part of that's because of Ray Seabury. He's got a heavy leg. He's forced a number of touchbacks, and this one to start the third quarter is no different. So back on the field comes the Kamehameha offense. Keli Ayat, 3 of 9, 6 passing yards, 1 interception. He's at 675 total for the season. The guy who grew up in Kailua. He's shown some leadership. They'll get him back next year. He's just a junior. But had a couple of throws, about 4 of them, that sailed high over his targets. And so if there is a positive, he's surrounded by some good seniors that can keep him calm and give him the confidence. Not a lot of short routes have been working. This drive starts with a Mahiai run and a Malapiai tackle from behind. First down runs, we always say, especially with this command team, big. Because when they work to second and short, things open up a little bit more. It's a good start for the Warriors, gain of 8.
Yeah, exactly right. And this is their bread and butter play. Trey Wright. They get those big offensive linemen on the move.
Mahiai 16 carries, 62 yards for the season now. Extra blocker on the left side. Mahiai goes that side, gets wrapped up by the freshman Vincent Tautua. His 4th tackle of the night. He lost a couple out of it.
They try to go the opposite way here, run left, and this St. Louis defense, they've just been playing downhill the whole time. And may get them on first down, but lose yardage on second down, and all of a sudden you're in a tough situation on third.
3rd and 4 for Ayat. Lets this one fly. Oh, it's nearly picked. Nearly intercepted by Nicholas Nainoa Narciso. Oh, through his hands.
Yeah, this is tough with Ayat actually getting some good time to throw. Run looked to be double move out there.
Him in the face? Oh, maybe the upper part of the shoulder. Doink. Wow. Dwight Apau to punt this one. On 4th and 4, Apau lets it fly, and Trech Kekahuna says, I'm not touching this one. And it'll track out of bounds right at the 30-yard line. 44 on the punt. And Bianco now in the offense for the Crusaders back onto the field.
Yeah, you got the feeling, right, if Kamehameha is going to make a charge and make this a ball game going down the stretch, they needed something positive on the opening possession of the half, right? That's the advantage you get. You get the ball to start the third quarter, but a 3 and out, not helping the cause. You feel for that guy, Bartley, who's been really the heart and soul of this team.
Into the arms of Dylan Palama as Abduhan takes it for about 5. No other team in the history of the Division I Open era in the HHSA has won a Division I Open championship. And of course, 2015 was the year that Kahuku won it. Kahuku looks really good this year. Dominant victory over Kapolei to start this season. Then even a more significant victory over Farrington. Farrington plays Kapolei right now. They're tied at 7 apiece. Both of those programs looking for their first win. Bianco's first read was covered. Deep ball, Mua'au. Oh, in the clear. Easy money. Touchdown. A 65-yard strike, and Bianco has done it again.
Great protection up front, once again by this big physical St. Louis offensive line. And when you've got that kind of time, Mual with all that speed, single covered outside, I mean, it's just a foot race. And so you let him get way downfield, and Bianco's huge arm, he's not going to outrun that throw.
34-0. Mason Mual didn't have a great first half of this season, but now in the last 2.5 games, he has 8 catches, 290 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Wow.
Saturday, the defending champs are heading out east for a pivotal battle in the division. Moanalua, Castle, OIA football only on XCast, exclusively on Spectrum.
Watch this. Can I please get the cheddar-loaded cheeseburger combo?
Wait, I know that voice. Danny Palumbo from high school?
No, it's Jack. Try my cheddar-loaded cheeseburger combo with cheese 3 ways.
As a kid, I watched my parents fight long and hard to go to work just to take care of us, feed us, and keep a roof over our head. And that inspired me from there that, I wanted to do the same thing if I ever had a kid. My experience with Hawaii VA loans was pretty awesome, so I appreciate them and I appreciate our lender.
My cheddar-loaded cheeseburger features a jumbo patty and cheddar 3 ways with a slice of cheddar cheese and cheddar ranch, all between a cheddar bun. Yeah, it's loaded, but you know what they say, the more cheddar, the better.
Mual having a phenomenal second half of the season. Confidence much better. And he's been bouncing around from the starting lineup in and out of that, but boy, did he earn his stripes on his shoulder right now. What a performance.
Yeah, you touched on it, Felipe. He's really come on the last 3 games or so, second half of the season.
And Kameme has literally had no answer, and they've tried to have one. But when you start off your offense in the 20-yard line, it makes things difficult. Now, as the deficit gets bigger and the emotions get higher, knowing in all likelihood at this point that they'll have a game next week, you better make sure, both coaching staffs, you don't want to get anybody kicked out of this game and make them ineligible for next week. Just 68 yards of total offense for Kamehameha, 348 for the Crusaders. Yeah, that's an easy throw right there to Raiden Morris. Morris is a good, tough receiver, by the way. Going to see him flourish over the next couple of years. He gets 13 yards out of that for his 8th catch of the season.
Yeah, you'd like to see more of that from Kamehameha, some of that quick game. Simpler throws for Ayat. See if they can't get him in a rhythm.
Largest completion of the game for Ayat. Mahiai with a big hole. And Mahiai, told you those legs were strong. Holani and Kalaukoa have to hang on for dear life. 10 first down yards in the carry.
74's helmet on the offense.
Yeah, he is a tough dude. And to finish this run, of course, getting a little help from his buddies up front. Kaapana and company.
Ayat, quick throw. It's caught Lorenzo. The ball popped out, but he's ruled down. He's ruled down prior to the ball skipping up in the air right at the St. Louis 49-yard line.
So the quick slant. Right on the money. This is where Ayat has shown that he is capable, right? He has got all of the skill sets. you need to be a successful quarterback at this level, particularly in this really difficult league.
Mahi the back on second and short. We had movement.
Ball start. Offense number 76. 5-yard penalty, second down.
It's a big problem the Warriors have had tonight when the penalties have come in on drives when they were building steam.
Yeah, basically every promising drive that Kamehameha has had, and those have been tough to come by to begin with. Seems that a penalty or two has just about derailed things before they could pick up a second first down.
6th penalty on the Warriors tonight. Ayat feeling the pressure from Holani, puts it up for Mahi. Big collision. It's incomplete. It actually worked out pretty well. We have a marker down on the far sideline. It's better that was incomplete, because they would have lost about 4 yards through the end of it, but they have to check the flag. It's a great call.
Formation on the offense. That penalty is declined. Third down.
It's a great call, too, that was incomplete. Definitely hit the ground. But again, Blaise Holani rifling through. Warriors empty on converting third downs this evening. Ma'afala, Kamoku, along with Apau, the 3 receivers up top. 5 in the pattern for Ayat. Ayat down the middle for Ma'afala, incomplete. Guarded by Kalau Koa. Couldn't connect.
Yeah, so they still remain 0 on third down, right? And that was really one of the keys in their comeback victory against St. Louis. Second game of round 1. Right, they're 7 of 11 on third down, 2 of 2 on fourth down in that win. 34-31 over the Crusaders.
They're down double digits late, too, and St. Louis let them score to try and get the ball last to win the game. And this ball takes another solid skip from Apau. And it'll be touched inside the 20-yard line. 7:23 remaining, and the Crusaders in control.
This Spectrum OC16 sports presentation is sponsored by Zippies.
Just because we're social distancing
doesn't mean we can't share aloha.
And our favorite Zippy's comfort food.
Cool. Look what Daddy brought. Yummy.
Chili.
Chili goes great with anything. Celebrate Zippy's anniversary with a scoop of chili to any of your favorite plates. Sure to satisfy your chili cravings.
Signature Shade Solutions started in Australia. We specialise in all shading solutions.
Simplicity HR has allowed me as a business owner to do what I do best by doing the rules and regulations, the payroll, the insurances. It really simplified everything.
And they can do their part of the business that we don't have time to do or don't know anything about. So get the best guys in the business to do it and walk away.
We're Simplicity HR by Ultras, and we're Hawaii's leader in payroll and HR outsourcing.
Well, a lot of credit to St. Louis' success should go to that offensive line. Now, they've taken their licks as the season's gone on, especially the first game against Gorman. But as the year has gone on, they've given more time in the pocket to Bianco, which has allowed him to go through his progressions and find wide open windows. They work it short underneath, and this is caught by Randon Cordero for his 3rd catch. All his receptions this season have come against a Warrior team. This one no different. And Ethan Spencer, the UH command, has to come out.
It's part of the maturation of Bianco as well. He is very willing to take what is there, some of those underneath throws. Key component of the run and shoot, keep the chains moving, positive plays.
Over the middle, over the top, going down, Da Silva to the 28. Gain of 38.
And then, of course, if you've got the time and you've got one of your slot receivers running to the opposite hash, you can drop it over the top. The full array so far from this St. Louis passing attack.
Great grab from Da Silva. First one of the night. He had 29 receiving yards, got more than that on that catch alone. Tao'efa's cover, but the throw over the middle is caught. Takahashi. Thought he was stretching for the goal line, but just shy. Down to the 3, gain of 25 more.
Just excellent work again from Bianco. Little China route to the play side left, nothing there. You work back to your backside. You got Takahashi, little replace route. If nobody shows, you can keep running down the middle of the field. If somebody does, you hook it up at about 15 yards. And it's just pitch and catch at this point for Bianco and his receivers.
Bianco's had 3 rushing touchdowns this year against Kamehameha Games alone. He will hand it off, and an easy throw for Ola Abduhan. $40-0.
Little ace look for St. Louis. They bring in a couple of those extra linemen. They've gone to it different times throughout the season, particularly in short yardage situations.
And Napu'unoa slides that one through. Abduhan loves this game. Plays with a lot of heart, scores again, and his heart will go on. I can fly, Jack.
My dad and I used to call this place the Devil's Drop.
Seriously?
Just hold on to something.
This is how I feel.
Intelligent 4x4 with 7-mode terrain selector. The legend returns, the all-new ruggedly redesigned 2022 Nissan Pathfinder. Get a low $320 per month lease on the 2022 Pathfinder or get 0% financing for up to 72 months on 13 models.
It continues here for St. Louis. Keola Abduhan able to get the rushing touchdown. 3rd of the season. And now with St. Louis on top 41-0. We are in Mercy Road. Time and the clock will stop on penalties, injuries, scores, and timeouts. It'll be a running clock for the next 17:51 of the game. Body language says a lot. And how Kamehameha right now is on the sideline. It's very silent, not because there's no fans here, but just there's no energy. And the best that they can hope for now is to have a good week of practice and prepare for next Friday in the winner-take-all ILH championship playoff. And again, if you're just joining us, Seal Bartley, who got a decent amount of carries in the first half, 8 carries, 32 yards, was injured. And he's been coming in and out. Athletic trainers were tending to him. Jimmy reported on a possible high ankle sprain. That's the leg that they've been looking at. So they've been going without him for this second half. And so, as we mentioned before, it might be wise to just leave him out, have him go through PT, and have him get ready for next Friday's matchup.
Yeah, letting him heal up and getting him healthy will be as important as anything for this Kamehameha team going into next week.
And here's Mahiai. To the left side, no gain. Tautua and Saba'inaya make the tackle. St. Louis, much like a Kahuku, doesn't play for the first 2 months of the season. They play for the last 2 months of the season. So regardless of what the record is heading in, best believe that with that coaching staff and that level of talent, they are aspiring to go higher. Ayat, quick throw. Komoku able to make the catch. She gets popped just a couple yards shy of the first down as Barcelona makes the tackle.
Number 76 of the offense, Mr. Wall, for one player.
I bring up third down.
Yeah, another nice strike from Ayat. He gets the ball out of his hands quick. It's a short, condensed motion, throwing darts out there. And that'll be big. They can get him in a position feeling good going into next week. Take some pressure off of this run game.
Third and short, Mahiai, good run. Solid tackle from Nainoa Narciso. Able to grab by the leg to the 35. It's a gain of 7.
Yeah, nice hole on that left side. You had Cardell Stokes-Ryder pulling around, kicking out that end man on the line of scrimmage.
3.5 remaining here in the third. Seal Bartley saying, Mahiai is like my brother. We're brothers in the backfield, and both of them have shown support for each other. Ayat lets this one fly. It's Morris. It's incomplete. Make it Vendiola, excuse me. The kid from up north in Kahuku couldn't make that catch. He is the tallest receiver in the lineup for the Warriors. Oh, big pop, too. Right after him, Saba'inaya and company. And Holai Winchester.
And again, some pressure in the face of Ayat. He's got to throw it half tick sooner than he wants to, and it results in an overthrow. Give a lot of credit to this St. Louis pass rush. They have been doing that all night.
2nd and 10. Ayat, a high ball for Komoku. Oh, just through his hands. Was striding through. Couldn't pull it down.
Yeah, and you could see the body language of Ayat, kind of the hands on the helmet, then the hands on the hips. He felt, and he had a chance to step into this one, he felt that this one was on the money. And for whatever reason tonight, just a half yard or so too strong on these throws. Just one of those nights for Ayat, nearly connecting.
2 minutes to play in the third. Screen pass, Mahiai. Downfield blocks. Gets tackled by Nicholas Nainoa Narciso. Another couple yards shy of the first down. We're at the 43.
Another good way to slow down the pass rush. Little screen, particularly running back screens. You know, and hopefully Bartley is healthy next week, but maybe that's a possibility. We could see a little bit more of he and Mahiai on the field at the same time.
Powell gets rid of it, and this will take another solid skip all the way down to the 15-yard line. 42 on the punt. If this result should hold, Jordan Helly will be with all of you next Friday for Waipahu Moanalua. Darren Hernandez and myself will be here for the ILH Winner Take All Championship. Right now, Kapolei's playing Farrington. You want to take a guess who's winning at the half? Kapolei or Farrington?
Farrington up?
Yeah, 14-13.
Good game.
Or a bad one if you're Coach Hernandez, right?
Right. Well,
right. Yeah. I will say, though, after
1 point ball game,
they put up 7 points and then gave up the next 61, and then they put up 13 here against Farrington tonight. And Farrington's a solid team, by the way. When they get going, they'll let that Kahuku result kind of cloud your judgment, as Chaz Aiden Delto on the right side able to get the carry from Kamakaviva Ole, who's the new quarterback in now. And so the sophomore, who is just 5 of 8 this year, did have a brief amount of time against the Buff and Blue. Of course, we all know his cousins, Kila and Kalani Kamakaviva Ole. Kalani coming through the Kamehameha program, became the #2 quarterback all throughout the training sessions in the summer. And that handoff will end the third quarter. 14 in the period for the Crusaders. 41-0 as we head to the fourth.
It's crispy, juicy, tender, as in juicy and tender and crispy. McDonald's Crispy Chicken Sandwiches.
Southern style meets local style. Get a deluxe crispy or deluxe spicy crispy chicken sandwich meal for $7.99.
Hawaii, we all need to come together to stop the spread of COVID-19. If you feel sick, stay at home. Do not go to work, school, or social events. No exceptions. One infected person can spread COVID-19 to many other people. Don't be that one. Stay home and rest when you're sick. Your friends, coworkers, and classmates will thank you. Do your part. Don't unknowingly spread COVID-19.
Saturday, the Rainbow Wahine set their sights on a Big West Conference match against UC Riverside. Rainbow Wahine Volleyball on OC16, exclusively on Spectrum.
Monday, two of the best in the West. Lock it up one more time. Kapolei, Mililani, OIA Girls Volleyball only on OC16, exclusively on Spectrum.
She gets upended a little bit by Trey 10, and some early happy Halloweens are being shared. Penalty flag through all of it. Marker came flying in for the back judge. And when something like that happens, the back judge has the best position because he or she has the widest angle to see any of the extracurriculars that could happen.
I actually thought that one wasn't anything egregious. Maybe some bodies getting tangled up. But you know, without a doubt, this officiating crew is going to keep a close eye, trying to keep everything in check.
Personal foul, 77 of the offense. Half the distance, second off.
It's on Geisen.
Man, Felipe, we were talking a little bit at the end of the third quarter, some of the OIA scores and teams developing, right? It's just one of those things in 2021 with all of the COVID delays and everything. Just how strange of a season it is, right? The fact that, you know, Punoho's done for the year.
De Silva almost ran into his own guy, and De Silva finally gets tackled the 15-yard line for a gain of a couple.
And we're looking like we'll get an ILH championship overall game next week, which is only, you know, 3 weeks into the OIA season. You know, we're staring at a possibility that St. Louis could even be done here today. There's, you know, like Kamehameha Maui in the MIL. They haven't even played a game yet. Their first game is tomorrow. And so it's just this weird incongruent thing where we'll all get to the same finish line, but that's just the fact of the matter. And we're talking about these teams already, you know, 6 games in or so.
William Lentz tackled there by Ren Asato. So Asato gets his 6th tackle, and everyone making sure that everyone's okay. And the thing is, the winner of the ILH Championship next week is going to have a 6-week break approximately by the time the HHSAA Division I Open Tournament begins. And of course, within those 6 weeks, those teams can schedule OIA opponents. But again, you have to find the perfect alignment. You have to find a team A that's willing to play you, B, a schedule that fits your personal schedule, and the other, bye week for the OIA team, assuming you want to play them. And so after through all of that, as St. Louis gets their first punt of the night, I mean, it's going to be a long wait for the ILH champion.
Right, and if you're one of those top OIA teams, you know, what's the incentive of playing St. Louis ahead of a possible state championship game? Or Kamehameha.
Yep.
If they are able to pull it out next week.
To the 47-yard line, the punt went 36 yards, and Kamehameha with a running clock because we are in mercy rule will continue to spin. So obviously not Kelly Ayat's best performance. 7-18, 43 yards. All right, when you had games like this as a quarterback, what was Saturday, what was Monday like for you? How do you know, restart the computer?
Yeah, and you know, he obviously the son of a quarterback, right? His dad Brian, one of the all-time greats. And so usually when you get through games like this, probably a little hurting because you took a beating. Mahiai, nice run up the middle here. And boy,
yeah, you saw Roy Ma'afala go up and jump Mahiai. Almost gave him a piggyback.
We'll get another look at it here. This is impressive from Mahiai. Taking guys for a ride here. But for Ayat, he's going to want to get back to work really quickly, right? You're trying to flush this as quickly as possible and get looking forward to next week, get back in the film room.
How did you do that, though? How did you get that out of your system as Mahiai takes it to the 40-yard line?
Yeah, I think it's kind of pouring yourself back in the work. It's reviewing the tape because you're going to play them again next week, right? So you're looking at this game awfully closely and getting back out there, getting some of your guys maybe just going to the park, right, and throwing the ball around a little bit and feeling better about yourself, I think is probably what we're going to see from Kaylee and his crew, just trying to get back and moving into the next week, right? Putting this one behind you, which is always a little difficult when you're playing the same team twice in a row, but
from the 40, Ayat, a pump, the pressure, marker down. He slides out and stumbles, now gets rid of it, and the toe in for Ma'afala. But a marker down through all of that at the 39-yard line of St. Louis. Just had the balance to at least stay upright and let go of that, but it looked like it came in the area of a hold. With 8:08 remaining. Again, this is one of the 4 clock stoppages in Mercy Rule timing.
Holding. Offense number 67. 10-yard penalty. Second down.
You got 67 right there, left side of your screen. Just drive them right down to the ground. Savainai applying the pressure, which has been pretty consistent throughout the night. Second and 27. Here's Morris. Morris down the sideline. Raiden Morris is gone. Touchdown. 60 yards. An extra point to stop the Mercy Rule timing, but Raiden Morris, his second touchdown of the season.
How about the broken tackle initially by Morris to get free, and then the blocking outside turns him loose up the sideline, and that's got to feel great for the Warriors.
Freitas 11 of 14 on extra points. And he splits the sticks. This guy is a speedster. And he blew by the Buff and Blue for his only other touchdown of the year on October the 1st. It's just been very, very reliable. No ego, hard worker. Comes in and gets Kamehameha on the board.
Yeah, Narciso looked like he had a bit of an angle to at least chase him down and keep him out of the end zone, but Morris turning on the boosters. And again, just getting some reps with this receiving core, and Ayat can go a long way as we head towards next week. Obviously the running clock turned off here, but still a long way to go to come back from 34 down with 7:44 to play. But they're going to need that. They're going to need these receivers to make plays next week for Kamehameha. It cannot be one-dimensional.
And now an actual kickoff for Freitas. Takahashi from around the 8. Good job on special teams. Evan Rao able to tag him. Evan Rao could be on his way to the Air Force, one of his dream schools to pursue his career at the next level, his collegiate football career at the next level. Rao was chosen as the defensive captain. We chronicle what his father, John Rao, has done for other schools, painting at McKinley, volunteering his time over in the weight room too at Kamehameha Kapalama. So Rao comes from a great family. course, his father, John Rao, actually has an award named after him over at McKinley, in which they give out to other students. And right now, hoping to find some of that leadership to at least make this thing manageable. Kamako Viva Ole back in as a quarterback. Asato able to make this tackle on Delto.
And so we see Kamako Viva Ole in there. Always a deep stable of quarterbacks for St. Louis. Maybe not quite as deep as we have seen in years past, but you got Kamako Viva Ole, the sophomore. You had Jaren Kiawe-Sangapolutele on the St. Louis 2 team. And then, of course, Bianco as the QB1.
Throw here to Randy Cordero. Cordero takes a pop, but finally gets brought down by Kilinahi Wong, the sophomore. Wong, one of the reserve DBs, but Cordero extends the drive right at the 33.
And, of course, these two schools, the two that had those varsity 2 teams, more or less their JV teams. I wasn't quite sure. Are they allowed to bring up the varsity 2 guys now that their ILH seasons are done?
There's a run here for William Lentz, and so Lentz able to get to the 37-yard line. So Jaren Kiawe-Sangapolutele did get brought up, but he was ejected in the previous game, in the last game of the season, so he's ineligible for this one tonight. Kamehameha 2 played Pearl City JV tonight, so if Abu Ma'afala for Kamehameha chooses to bring up one of those Kamehameha 2 players, and they're very, very good, by the way. They're going to be very solid the next year and a half or 2. De Silva and Diego Ortiz. They're able to get to him, so we're at the 47-yard line. As we mentioned, it's a 34-point advantage now, so we're at regular clock stoppages. 35 points is the threshold for mercy rule timing.
Yeah, those two, you know, air quotes, JV teams, the varsity 2 team, those were some of the best underclassmen talent I've seen in a long time.
Elijah Doler able to carry that one for just his 5th carry of the season. Joshua Yamashiro able to make the stop for the Warriors. You're right, and you know, OIA JV teams are looking for games as well during their bye weeks, and so Pac-5 is still continuing to play, even though their season is pretty much done. And Damien's season recently ended with their matchup against Moanalua to start off the OIA season. Kamako Viva Ole lets this one fly in a window. It's incomplete to Cordero. Running that usual St. Louis route. Evan Rao was in there on the coverage.
Jimmy down there helping out, shagging some balls.
With Halloween coming up in a couple days, everyone's been getting into the Halloween spirit. And you saw some of the jack-o'-lanterns we'd shown during our bumpers, as we call it. Talking to a lot of these guys, I mean, they're super stoked for Halloween. But now the focus is on football. Low throw, and Takahashi couldn't hang on to that. Renasato is guarding him. All right, so this is the previous play. And Jimmy is on the right side, right there with the hat. And Jimmy stays out in front. Now, if I was Jimmy, I would punt that. And just send it right back the other way. Hey. Well done on you, Jimmy. Good job.
Thanks. I could have gone overhand, but I was just already down. It was just easier to just kind of, you know.
That was a good baseball. Yeah, baseball move. Right.
Yeah, way to keep it in front of you, Jimmy.
Fair catch signaled here inside the 15-yard line. Here with 5:07 remaining.
You a candy guy? We know you like the gummy worms.
Yeah.
So is it more the sour candies or the chocolates? Like what's your, if you're getting it on your trick or treat during Halloween, you know, what's
a Reese's peanut butter cup? I think is undefeated.
I think I'm with you.
Right?
It's just timeless, right?
Yeah. Candy corn is the worst candy. That and marshmallow peeps are the worst candies.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't mess with either.
I don't know who that's for or why it exists, but
there's got to be a market, right?
Exactly, right. Kukeo Puhiva is the new quarterback. He is a 6'1 junior, and so the lefty will hand it off to Sunrise Solatorio for his first carry of the season. So Sunrise, maybe a couple yards in his first varsity carry of the year. It's tackled by McKenna Barcelona. So Keo Puhiva is the third string in the depth chart in the quarterback position, but an area that he's still learning and growing. Worked hard in the offseason to try and work his reps up there. And he'll get better over time, obviously. It's just a matter of finding that confidence. But you can't build confidence unless you get live reps. Did get live reps in a Kahuku scrimmage just a few weeks ago. The lefty floats this one high, incomplete, intended for Vendiola.
Yeah, and I think for a lot of these guys, right, whether it's Keo Puhiva or anybody else coming into the rotation for Kamehameha, just the opportunity to get in ball games when you lose out on a season like a lot of these guys did, you know, in 2020, and then to come back out this season. Football seasons are short. High school football goes by quickly, and so when you cut out 25% of those opportunities by losing out in a year, you know, you're just ecstatic to get in the ball game.
Keo Puhiva, incomplete, nearly intercepted over the middle. Hunter Lee, one of the guys in there, and Roy Ma'afala Jr. So it was Roy Ma'afala Jr. with that hand extended. Oh,
that is the other exciting part for me, just as an observer, right? You see guys like Ma'afala Tautua, freshman on this St. Louis squad, like they could have been playing on that varsity 2 team, you know, conceivably. And some of these underclassmen for Kamehameha, same story.
So I think Dwight Apollo just won a punting job because he's been so great all throughout the night. Able to pound that one again. 47 yards on the punt.
Yeah, what can't that guy do?
And he's a tremendous academic athlete too. It could be the valedictorian when it's all said and done. All right, so as everyone will get back to their practices on Saturday or Monday, films usually on Saturdays. If St. Louis feeling the pressure of defending their legacy and that dynasty, then you have Kamehameha. You got to wonder if doubt is creeping into their minds after beating them twice earlier. In all likelihood, losing tonight, being ranked #1 by the media polls for about a month. But still trying to figure out, is this going to be the year that the Warriors break through and get to the tournament for the first time since '09? Floating high, incomplete. Good diving attempt there from Kawhi. Kamakabiva Ole had that one sail.
And you kind of had the feeling it was going to come down to a one-game winner-take-all at the end of the ILH season, with just how competitive it was through the first round. You know, basically 2 games separating first through third in the standings. Average margin of victory in those games, you know, less than a touchdown.
Rickson Lum able to make this tackle. I'll take it just for about a yard to around the 37-yard line with 3:50 remaining.
Yeah, it's just been a lot of fun following this ILH season, right? I mean, you got to go back to what, 2014 to find a season basically as competitive as this. It's been a long time, and it's been a lot of fun.
Kamakabiva Ole throws incomplete, nearly intercepted by Hunter Alu. Just through his hands. It would have been his second pick of the year. Had an interception the first time they played St. Louis.
I mean, we were staring down, you know, going into the last week or two of the ILH first round, like a 3-way tie, which we haven't had in a long, long time amongst the big 3. Then you look at what's happening in girls volleyball and how competitive it's been between Punahou Kamehameha and Iolani.
Dark head signal called by Komoku, and able to bring that one in.
That's a really good job by Komoku with bodies flying all around it. Hold on to that. But yeah, it's just, you know, as a fan of prep sports, covering this thing, to not have the regular flow of high school sports, and to come back and see how competitive these games have been, how tight the races have gone. It's kind of a nice treat to get back into it and have all of these storylines unfold.
How good is Kahuku this year from what you saw?
They're really good.
Perfect.
You know, you and I did that game at Kapolei, and I was thoroughly impressed. Having seen all of the ILH schools and Kahuku, yeah, that is a good squad Coach Carvalho's got on the North Shore.
Solatorio able to carry that one again as we approach 3 minutes to play.
Yeah, Kahuku maybe doesn't have quite the girth of numbers they usually do, right? They're not trotting 100 guys out there. But, boy, they're too deep on both sides of the football. Yeah, that is a talented squad.
Kahuku working off a bye this week. Then they'll get Lelehua and then Mililani. And we'll have the Mililani game for you on Spectrum OC16, November 13th. Run through the middle. Sunrise. Solatorio. Here's a bright spot. Yeah, he raised Hackney on the tackle.
That's what you love to see, right? A lot of these guys who don't get a ton of playing time coming in, they're playing hard, right? They're looking for contact. Solatorio has been running the football with a purpose. He's got the C.O. Bartley helmet paint job going, paint chips flying everywhere, and then Reyes Hackney's coming in. He's another young up-and-comer, the sophomore safety.
And this is the group that played that scrimmage against Kahuku at Farrington, which Kahuku won. This one sailing and incomplete. Mendiola was there. Key thing is for both teams, just keep everyone healthy for the final 159. And I say that because Mendiola looked like he was banged up. And we say it all the time, when athletic trainers have a busy night, it is not a good night.
Yeah, and hopefully just maybe got clipped a little awkwardly there. And okay, going forward.
Tomorrow on Spectrum XCast, we got Moanalua and Castle as Solatorio again showing that elusiveness, trying to step through that swamp, but got his foot caught on a vine. Bubba Preston able to hang on to him. So Moanalua and Castle tomorrow. Moanalua 1-0 in OIA play, 2-0 overall with the win over Damien, and then following it up with a win against Aiea. Castle picking up a win against Roosevelt by 4 points after the defense forced 4 interceptions. Something always weird and funky happens when Moanalua and Castle play. And we expect no less tomorrow night. With 6:15 gets you going. Game Day Hawaii presented by Pizza Hut. Sunrise Solatorio was a role player on the team. Initially thought he was going to be a short yardage type of back, but when his vision got better, he could cut better and worked so hard each and every day of practice, just watching him go through the drills, taking the hits, and fruits of his labor paying off. That lateral quickness much better than what it was at the start of the summer. Everything cosmetic. Here in the final few plays. Long ball, Morris intercepted. Climb the ladder, Kanoa Monte. His first pick of the year.
And Monte just playing a little center field. Kepuhiva looking for that fade ball and throwing in a double coverage. Monte coming over. Nice job reading the eyes that time. And the turnover to slam the door shut. St. Louis a couple of snaps away, maybe just a couple of kneel downs from setting the date, the rematch next week, Friday.
43 seconds remaining. St. Louis 465 yards of total offense. Each team has run 53 plays. Majority of that in this fourth quarter for the reserves. But Bianco, who didn't really sniff really the middle of the third until the end of the game, goes 16 for 21, 351 yards and 3 touchdowns. Adds to an already incredible legacy that he is leaving and carving for himself and the rest of the brotherhood. And in a gotta-have-it game where St. Louis knew about the pressure of defending a state championship, proving that they belong, trying to knock out the team that knocked them out twice in the regular season. St. Louis says, we ain't going anywhere just yet. Convincing victory. And it only took 2 hours and 15 minutes. The Crusaders, the round 2 tournament winner, and they force an ILH championship playoff. It's winner take all next Friday as the Crusaders tonight win 41-7.
Answer the call to adventure.
In a certified pre-owned Honda that goes through an industry-leading 182-point inspection. Comes with a 7-year powertrain warranty, 24/7 roadside assistance, complimentary oil changes, low 0.99% financing, and the peace of mind that you're driving a certified Honda.
See a Hawaii Honda dealer today and tell them Henry sent you.
After my husband passed away, I actually visited every senior living community from Punalu'u to Hawaii Kai, and Arcadia was head and shoulders above the rest. Everyone, from the top manager to the valet, calls you by name. They even check every morning to make sure you're okay. It makes me feel very safe and secure. I love it here. It's the best decision I ever made.
You're watching Spectrum XCast, all high school sports, all the time.
Connect your financial world with First Hawaiian Bank. It all starts with yes.
This year, we are more thankful than ever. Instead of spending your time cooking, order a pre-made Thanksgiving feast from Zippys.com or give one to those who deserve it most, so you can spend more time together. Order Zippy's Thanksgiving packages online and save up to $20. Order now, we usually sell out.
464 yards of total offense as these two teams shake hands after the game at midfield. So there's some respect there, but they will play one more time next Friday as St. Louis wins round 2, 41-7, force a winner-take-all championship game next Friday. You talk about convincing victories. I mean, Hawaii, we submit this game to you. St. Louis looked darn good tonight.
Yeah, they really did. They keep getting better and better every week in all phases. And what we are seeing is a Crusader team full of talent, kind of putting everything together.
All right, and Jimmy Bender's got the Hawaii Honda Dealers impact player for St. Louis. Jimmy.
Yeah, guys, Josh Songapolotele. We love it when a defensive player gets an impact player award. Josh, first off, let's talk about the dominance. You know, 4 quarters last week, no points. 3 quarters this week, no points. You finally give up the 1 touchdown. But, I mean, you guys are dominating over the last couple of games. Why is that?
No, we just came out here and just played as a team like we always should have been, and just to stop the run. That was the whole mindset.
Yeah. Is it like a switch? Did you guys just find a switch and flick it on, or how does it work?
I don't know. We just came out and we just changed our mindset. This game, you know, we just wanted to practice again.
Well, let's talk about next week then, because you get to run it back one more time with these guys for the title. What does that mean to you?
Man, it means a lot, but, you know, the job's not finished. We're going to come out here and do our thing again.
You might get another Impact Player Award next week, brother. Hey, guys, I'm going to send it back to you. Josh Songapolotele, Impact Player.
All right, Jimmy, thank you so much. Josh Songapolotele, he moves pockets. A couple of sacks on the night. And to help, along with the rest of the St. Louis defense, hold Kamehameha to just 224 yards of offense this evening.
Yeah, he and that front 7 were active all night long in that 3 front. They can line them up outside. They can move them inside, particularly in those pass rush situations where he is so good one-on-one, and just spent a lot of time in the Kamehameha backfield tonight.
And very few times do we have 2 defensive guys as the Hawaii Honda Dealers impact player. For the Warriors, Brennan Dupio, arguably his best game of the season. His 5 tackles, had a sack. He was very consistent on the defensive side for the Warriors this evening.
Yeah, I think a very earned impact player here for Dupio. He was the one guy that kind of gave Bianco some trouble pressuring him in the pocket, trying to corral him as a runner as well. Solid game again from Dupio.
For St. Louis, that run and shoot offense was humming tonight, and it is the spotlight of our Taco Bell play of the game. Bianco threw 3 touchdowns. This one well long. 65-yard hookup. Mason Mua'au. West side in the house, baby. And an easy stroll to the end zone. Mua'au on the night. 2 catches, 78 yards for the score. Nearly 300 yards in the last 3 games. Turning it on at a time where they need to turn it on at the most important time of the season.
Yeah, and that's what we talk about, right? The depth of talent that this St. Louis program always has, but again, has this year, and they are starting to put things together. A receiving core that maybe was inexperienced, a quarterback who definitely was inexperienced, and all of a sudden you get them some valuable game reps. They start putting things together, and then they can do what they've done the last couple of weeks and put up all these points. 35 last week, 41 here tonight.
Aloha Stadium not done yet seeing football. One more game next week for the ILH Championship. Post-game show on the way when you come back on a night where number 2 St. Louis picks up the win.
What are you doing? What? Just reminding him I serve my breakfast sandwiches all day and all night with freshly cracked eggs. Try my 2 for $6 double bacon breakfast sandwiches.
My dad and I used to call this place the Devil's Drop.
Seriously?
Just hold on to something.
This is how I feel.
Intelligent 4x4 with 7-mode terrain selector. The legend returns, the all-new ruggedly redesigned 2022 Nissan Pathfinder. Get a low $320 per month lease on the 2022 Pathfinder or get 0% financing for up to 72 months on 13 models.
Dreaming of the day you can travel safely to your favorite places? Bank of Hawaii has a giveaway that could help you plan your next getaway.
You can't touch this.
Announcing Bank of Hawaii's 5 million Hawaiian miles giveaway. Every time you pay using your Bank of Hawaii's contactless debit card during our 5 million Hawaiian miles giveaway, you're entered for a chance to win enough miles for a round trip to LA, Orlando, and more. So for the chance to bank miles for when we're all ready to travel again, use the debit card from the only Bank of Hawaiian miles, Bank of Hawaii.
You can't touch this.
Signature Shade Solutions started in Australia. We specialize in all shading solutions.
Simplicity HR has allowed me as a business owner to do what I do best by doing the rules and regulations, the payroll, the insurances. It really simplified everything.
And they can do their part of the business that we don't have time to do or don't know anything about. So get the best guys in the business to do it and walk away.
We're Simplicity HR by Ultras, and we're Hawaii's leader in payroll and HR outsourcing.
My 2 for $6 double bacon breakfast sandwiches have freshly cracked fried eggs with bacon crumbles cooked right in. And you can get them all day and night, and day and night. Only at Jack in the Box.
You're watching Hawaii High School Sports on Spectrum XCast.
From Spectrum OC16, it's the Hawaiian Financial FCU post-game show.
2 more segments, y'all. Hawaiian Financial FCU post-game show as Kamehameha gets ready to hop on their bus. Abu Ma'afala on the left, Matt Wright, defensive coordinator, on the right. Going back to the drawing board and try and set up for next Friday's ILH Playoff Championship. Felipe Ojastro, Jordan Helly, Jimmy Bender here in the post-game show. All right, so we talked about St. Louis, right? What positive thing can Kamehameha take away from this that they can build upon Monday through Thursday for next Friday's game?
Yeah, I think we saw a little bit in the second half, right? Particularly with Ayat while he was still in there. Start to build a little something with his receiving core, particularly on those quick throws. They're going to need that come next week. And the biggest thing for them is getting out of this as healthy as possible when you know that, hey, C.O. Bartley is a question mark for next week. We really didn't see him in the second half. They need him to be healthy, right? This Warriors program over the years, they've had bell cow running backs that have taken them far, and they're going to need him next week, no doubt about it, to get him back into the state tournament.
Take a look at the final stats. As we dive inside these digits, know that Kili Ayat, 8 of 19, 103 yards and an interception. C.O. Bartley, 8 carries, 32 yards. Raiden Morris, who was responsible for the only touchdown catch for Kamehameha tonight, 2 receptions, 73 yards in a matchup that took 2 hours and 15 minutes. But when C.O. Bartley was out, Micah Mahiai stepped in, and Mahiai, tough runner, 11 carries, 50 yards, showing every bit of that muscle this evening.
Yeah, he is a really, really capable runner, and we have seen that throughout his career, and again tonight, right? It's not just Bartley that can get the job done for the Warriors, but it's a good offensive line for Kamehameha. And if they can get Bartley back healthy and those two guys in complement of each other, they've got a chance to really turn the tide next week against this tough St. Louis defense.
Mahia had 11 carries through the first 4 total games of the season. Tonight he has 11 carries, matched it, 22 for the season, 90 total rushing yards. Jimmy.
Well, guys, I talked about it at the beginning of the game. Ron Lee had mentioned how much better this team has been getting every week. And what he specifically said to me is, we're doing it in all facets of the game, which he likes. So let's take a look at that. We'll start with the offense. A.J. Bianco, Mr. Football, making things happen, getting the touchdown there. But let's look at that. He got a great blitz pickup from the running back and then gets it down to his 6'4" receiver. Easy. Special teams. Why am I showing a kickoff that's ended up being a touchback? Well, that's because Ray Seabury, with that heavy leg you mentioned, Felipe, did that 8 times tonight, only allowed 2 returns for the Kamehameha team. And then finally, defense. This is at the end of the game when they're already up 41-7. We're still seeing the effort. That's Roy Apollo Jr. He's getting it done. All facets of the game happening for Ron Lee and this team, and that's why they have been dominant for 2 straight weeks.
Exactly right, Jimmy. And of course, Kamehameha's defense did force a fumble earlier in the game, couldn't cash in on points, but all of that doesn't matter now. It's a matter of focus for next Friday's ILH Playoff Championship game. One more segment to go. Hawaiian Financial FCU postgame show continues here from Aloha Stadium. We'll get you ready to wrap up your football weekend when we come back here on Spectrum OC 16.
Being able to buy a home in Hawaii, it's just amazing. This gives us the opportunity to kind of like change our station in life. Hawaii VA Loans was a very critical part of our success, giving us that support throughout each step of the way that we felt like we had another member on our team that was just there to back us up.
Keeping Hawaii student athletes in top shape starts with protecting their teeth. That's why Hawaii Dental Service encourages student athletes to use mouthguards to prevent or reduce the impact of an injury. Mouthguards are not just for football players, but can help protect all sports athletes. Custom-fit mouthguards can lessen the impact of a sports injury to the head, protecting the mouth, jaw, and face. Parents, encourage your student athletes to ask their coach or school's athletic director about using a mouthguard so they can live well and smile more with HDS.
When you vaccinate somebody, it's to not change the DNA of the host. It's familiarizing your body with a blueprint. When your body recognizes that blueprint, then it starts to take action. When it comes to COVID and COVID variant, taking 2 shots is the best science has given us so far. And what we're finding is that the immunization works very well against the Delta variant as well. The vaccine is easy to get. You can go right around the corner and get it. It's not difficult, it's not complicated.
Welcome back to the Hawaiian Financial FCU post-game show.
Man, you talk about using a prop to its fullest extent. Happy early Halloween, y'all. 41-7 Hawaiian Financial FC post-game show. Wrapping up here at Aloha Stadium, Felipe, Jordan, Jimmy. Don't forget, tomorrow we have Moanalua at Castle. We're in beautiful Kaneohe for the Knights and Moanalua. 2-0 Moanalua, 1-0 Castle. Time now for extra points. In fact, it does involve the likes of Moanalua and Castle. Again, something always funny happens when those two programs meet, and Division I is going to be the most wide-open division this year. It stole the show in the 2019 tournament. Hilo game-winning field goal against Iolani. Look for that state tournament to be the gem of all 3 divisions come December and the state tournament.
Yeah, I think it's going to be incredibly exciting, right? You got Lahaina Luna, 4-time defending Division II state champ. They make the move up to Division I. We've already seen you know, Hilo go down to Konawaina on the Big Island. Iolani's in the mix. Who comes out of the OIA? I'm looking forward to that.
Was that your extra point?
Yeah, why not? Well, I'll add on. Division 2 also should be wide open, right? Because Lahaina Luna's no longer there. They're up in Division 1, so it could be really entertaining. A lot of talk about the open division, obviously, but the Division 1 and Division 2 races throughout the next couple of months, I think, are going to be just as good.
All right, Jimmy.
I don't want to argue with you about your mention of candy corn being the worst candy out there. I mean, it's okay. But I think you whiffed on the absolute worst candy out there. Black licorice. That stuff is horrible.
Is it?
Horrible.
Really?
Yes. I would rather eat tomatoes, and you know how I feel about tomatoes.
I've never heard somebody have such a passionate argument about tomato. I've never tried it before. Twizzlers are terrible, too, by the way.
Oh, yeah. No, we're a Red Vines family.
Exactly. Same here. Same here. By the way, we have one more extra point. All of our foolish shenanigans that happened before the game. Take a look at what happened about 2 hours before the game. We were doing a pregame prep, and Jimmy was running routes. Look at Jimmy downfield, looking like Gronkowski. Yeah. And look at it. Oh, there you go.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Body, yaddy, yaddy, yaddy. And then Sean Suioka, one of the best spotters ever, finds one of the other best spotters ever, John Sheena. But Sean Suioka dropped it. He dropped it. Oh, and we love him too. But wait, we do have more. It wasn't just running routes. They also kicked field goals. So John Sheena, bango. Easy money. Got the shades on too. Made us proud in the booth.
Yeah.
And then the awkward hip bump that only middle-aged men can do. And then Jimmy hit the post.
What?
He hit the upright.
What?
Oh.
Doinked it.
He did doinked it. Reinforcing stereotypes. And then one more. Sean gets one up. Oh, and it hit the upright.
Wow.
Oh, my God. Sean's my boy, but gosh, that and we, you know, so while the rest of us were working,
yeah,
those three were having fun. It's always good to see. But I tell you what, we may not have football in this stadium ever after next week, and so you got to maximize your time. And then, you know, they were just having fun too with it.
Yeah, and Sean and I have dubbed ourselves now the Doink Brothers, and our new handshake is a missed high five, and we yell clank when we do it.
Real quick, by the way, I'm going to ask Craig if he can just zoom out a little bit. I want to bring Sean in here because for those of you who don't know, Sean is a phenomenal spotter. Sean, you can come in between us. Sean dressed up like this today because it's Halloween. And if you could pan down a little bit, Craig, here. All right, so Sean, turn around a little bit, please. Okay, so Sean's wearing wings. Anyone guess what he is right now? Anybody in the truck? It's to be or not to be.
Oh, that is the question. I mean,
Yeah.
Among many other questions, but
I love him so much. Yeah, and then wait, one more thing. And then John, look what John wore today. John, real quick. Sorry, I'm so sorry, truck. John, come here. Just look what John wore today. John apparently dresses like a hipster accountant.
Who makes field goals.
And who makes field goals.
There you go.
Thank you. Love you, big boy. All right. All right, we'll see all of you next tomorrow. Great job, guys. We'll see all of you. Jordan Helly, Jimmy Bender, Dave Vincent, Greg Kuzak, the outstanding women and men of our OC16 crew. Felipe Ohastro, Silport High School Sports. So long from Halava.